Oh, okay.
And then of course we have
They were out about.
Deputy Clint.
Oh, making people cry. Making people cry.
What you say?
Making people cry.
That's right. Taking names.
Getting accused of talking women out of their panties.
That I have a hard time.
That guy was mad, man. That was a trailer hitch. He still got a big guy who got mad because I talked him into paying the guy, and he called back after he paid the guy, mad at me.
That he paid the guy.
That he had to pay the guy.
Cost us international stars.
Or that he paid the guy.
This guy who goes there,
Called me an interrogator.
someone calls in and says, oh, my daughter and I went to the Naval Observatory and wanted to see our star that we bought.
Huh?
And so they said,
Oh, well, this is fun. This is so fun.
We're going after it. We'll be right back. Guy comes on. Hey, it's Rocky.
Oh, remember?
Did you get all that? Who did we serve?
Yeah, that's sitting on my desk. I got a good Tory.
Yeah, get Tori to sign off on that. Just email her. She'll pay you. Who was that for, though? Oh, that was that towing one. I can't wait for that to go to court.
Yeah. GoPro or whatever.
Ah, that was a great one.
Oh, it's small claims, though, right?
Oh, yeah. There's no counterclaim they can do. If they try to kick it up, there'll be a slap suit. The judge will smack it down.
Yeah, that's right, because he worked there.
Not giving their deposit back. Oh, remember asbestos guy, or not asbestos, mold guy yesterday? He said your metal detector went off.
Yes.
I called them. God, you're right. The landlady was torn four walls out of the house trying to find mold. There isn't any. The guy
Smoking and drinking. Waiting for liver.
He's waiting for a liver transplant. He's smoking and drinking.
How can you do that?
They kicked him off.
They kicked him off the transplant list because he smoked and drinking. And they have evaluated him and the two doctors, the PA and another, told him it's not mold.
I like the answer.
He's been told that. He refuses to believe it. It can't be the fact I'm drinking and smoking with liver cirrhosis. It can't be.
That's crazy.
On top of that, that little house in Flagler, $475 a month rent.
30 seconds.
I'm going to, yeah.
I'm always up there shaving that ball.
You know where to find me.
Wait, hold on.
I have your cell phone.
It hasn't changed, that's true. Glad to see you're something on shelf proud and keep me good.
Hi, guys. One good day, one bad. One worse day, one
Can I grab this one? Oh, yep. Oh, they're underneath.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yep. Need a pen too? I got plenty of them.
I got one, thank you. Thank you very much.
Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you being
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. Here to help you solve problems, answer questions, and take complaints. All you have to do is call. Think about that. Media with a purpose. Finally, someone on the radio not trying to change your religion or politics, not trying to tell you how to think, where to think, what to think, but simply want to help. We all have that in common. I don't think anyone disagrees with what we do here if you get right down to it. Even some of these lying, cheating ripoffs, they say, I don't like that Martino. Then their mom gets in trouble and they say, call Martino. Truly, we love helping people. It just comes down to that. Oh, my God, do we have a lot to talk about today. Welcome. And we have some good guests in the house. We have I have a referral list member who's been on so long, I can't remember when he got on. He's been on the referral list almost from the beginning, if not the beginning. Dan Mahoney's with Insurance Group of Denver. They do all kinds of insurance. And then we have a common man that is anything but common. You know, I joke about having people in from the audience. Well, wait till you hear this guy. Hit in the face at a Rockies game with a ball. Was the photo in the newspaper? Not that it matters. A few people.
I saw the photo. I have no idea. Where was it?
It's on Facebook. I know. Where Andy, who got hit in the face, our common man today, Cincinnati Reds versus Rockies. Where was your photo published?
They had the photo on Channel 7, then Fox also picked it up.
Okay. Your eye looks terrible. Now, seriously, I don't want to make a joke about this. Did you lose any sight?
Initially I did. I've still got blurred vision and double vision because my eye's not sitting level.
Well, it's closed. Your eye is closed right now. So they have to prop it open to do the testing.
No, I can open it
Oh, God.
on my own,
all
but
red.
yeah, it's swollen shut.
Do you have
still.
stitches?
Just on my cheek, not on my eyelid at all.
The picture I saw was after the ball bounced off your face.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that. I often wondered what would happen if a ball came rolling at me. I'd just dip behind my wife or something. 303.
I'd catch it like that.
You know,
How come you didn't catch it, man?
Wait, did you have a glove?
Were you drinking?
No, I wasn't drinking. I left my glove in the car, but I had my hands up. It went straight through my hands.
Oh, you did see it coming.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it caught you like you were looking at somebody.
No, I had both hands up over my face and just went straight through my hands.
Oh, it's brutal.
303-713-TALK. We do have guys on the line we'll take. We're people. And then we have some lines open at 303-713-TALK. You can get through in the beginning, or whenever I tell you a line is open, you can get through, and I promise to get through these calls quickly. 303-713-TALK. And, of course, 24/7, you can reach 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. I'm going to ask your opinions on some things as we go through the show, as we often do. And we can talk insurance if you want. We do have Dan with us, but it's, you know, we don't ever have a one-topic show. But I want to start out with a follow-up. And I'm a little upset about this, and judging by our email and our Facebook pages and our count, people are upset about it. You have a toxic marriage, a man with his wife. They have an infant together. But as often happens in marriages, stepchildren can be a problem. Apparently, the woman does not like his 13-year-old daughter. Look, it's no secret that people, when it comes to parenting and second marriages and third marriages, it's the number one reason people break up. Stepchildren. Your son should be doing this. Your daughter should be doing this. Or let's do this. Or let's do that. It's just terrible when one tries to parent the other or they disagree. So here's the deal. This woman she just doesn't like this girl. And she's trying to build a case against her that she's a bad girl. Now, at noon, we're going to have someone on to talk about the harm this did to this girl or could do. Now, you may say the door inside the room and videotaped the 13-year-old daughter masturbating. Think about that. What kind of depraved sicko does that? Now, this 13-year-old girl's discovering herself. She's in her bedroom. Listen, folks, I don't want to get into that discussion, but it's privacy. She's in her room. She's not hurting anyone. So, as Seinfeld would put it, she's the master of her domain. And the stepmom sneaks in here, and this sick woman videotapes it and then shows other people to make the case that the girl is depraved and a bad girl. Says to the husband, you should do something about this. He says, what? What are you doing? This girl's, she's in her own room. How dare you? The girl finds out about it. The stepmom is chastising her about it. So we have video. Oh, we don't have that video. Don't want the video. What I'm saying is, so we have video on her phone. I say we, as there's video on her phone. He calls the police. He calls Pueblo County Sheriff's Department. Now, in the past, we've had Pueblo, and Pueblo law enforcement, they're a bunch of idiots, total idiots, absolute, utter idiots. We have had cases where a guy was outside a dorm room of two girls crying for help, and he was yelling and screaming, trying to break the door down, and Pueblo police did not show up or showed up an hour later. Now, this is a real case. We've had other cases where another woman was outside on her porch yelling obscenities and vulgarities and mimicking sex acts and calling out racial comments. Police did nothing. Between the Sheriff's Department and the police, it is my opinion, based on our past experiences, these are not the only cases. They ignore anything complicated, anything. They ignore investigations, they ignore violence, assaults, sex charges, sex abuse. They ignore it. And the DA right along with them. So that whole county down there, city and county, I feel sorry for people who live there. It is a disgusting environment. Pueblo County and Pueblo City. And here's the deal. The follow-up is we are pressing them. Listen, we're pressing them to do something. You've heard on my show about 13, 14-year-old boys get sent a picture of their girlfriend. And just having it on their phone, they're arrested and their entire lives are ruined. Ruined. They have to register. They have to go to sex classes. Their entire life, they're looked at as a sexual pervert, even if it was consensual between two kids exchanging photos. Now, could you imagine in Denver, I think Denver does a pretty good job, or one of the metro cities, could you imagine if a stepdad took a picture of his kid doing this, or a stepmom? They would be arrested so quickly. Are you kidding me? Or an uncle? But here you have a stepmom in Pueblo basically making child pornography, and they do nothing. Nothing. We called them 8 times, 9 times without a response. Finally, we get a response today because I heard Deputy Clint. But the response is less than heartening. Tell me what they said.
They have her name on the log, but they don't know if they even have the case. They don't know if the sheriff's department...
They know nothing about it.
No, they're looking for it.
They're looking for it. Now, how can you have such a low priority on a sex crime? That's what it is. And if you don't think so, ask the many boys who have been ruined by having a photo of their girlfriend with a bra. Could you imagine if they had a video of her masturbating? So here's what we have. Here's what we have right now. We have the sick and depraved Pueblo Police and Pueblo Sheriff's Department and Pueblo DA ignoring this case. They say they have it, but they don't know where it is. They confiscated her phone. They don't know where it is. Is this the sickest thing you ever heard? So I've urged people before to call, and I don't mean to call and be a jerk. I heard you on the radio. Blah, blah, blah. No, I mean call with loving concern for this young girl and for this family. This guy is divorcing this woman. The only headshot we have of this woman we put up was one with her with a plastic bag over her head trying to kill herself. Now listen, I am well aware that this woman might be mentally ill. She should still be arrested and let the judge and let the courts ferret it out. Or she could argue Ambien. But whatever the case, this woman should be arrested. 303-713-TALK. It is a sick, sick case. And we're going to stay on Pueblo. Stay on them. I'm not kidding when I tell you that Pueblo Police and Pueblo Sheriff's Department, they ignore crime. They ignore it. If you have a problem there, I feel sorry for you. Now, they don't ignore traffic stops. They don't ignore Dunkin' Donuts. No, they ignore violence and assault on women. And on, well, maybe on men. We haven't had that case, but they ignore it. And they ignore vulgarity in public. They ignore complicated or touchy kind of things. You know what I mean? The kind that make you go, ick. They just ignore it. And they pretend it's not there. So when you call them, they're like, blah, 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 and they cover their ears so they don't have to hear it. I can't hear it, but earmuffs, blah, 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 blah. They're sick and disgusting. 303-713-TALK. I had to get that out. I wanted to let everyone know. And I believe you should call the district attorney or you should call the police department or the sheriff's department and demand that they investigate this case. Demand it. You will not believe the harm this can do to this young girl. And we don't even know how many people she showed it to. She had it on her phone for 6 months. The husband, when he found out about it, just said, take it off your phone, you're sick, you're disgusting, he's planning a divorce. But he didn't do anything right then. But then 6 months later, when the videotape was still there, that's when he did something. Okay, I know you guys want me to get to the phones. Denise has a problem with a high school marching band. What the hell could that be? Corey wants to talk about a car purchase. Janet, International Scout. Oh, do you know what? Those are vehicles you can't kill. Paul a convicted registered sex offender in his neighborhood. Let's talk about all of that. After I tell you about my favorite man, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, who is there for you when you are looking to buy or sell real estate. You can't find anyone better. How much more can I say? Here's what I will say. I want you to interview real estate people. You shouldn't just make a decision based on a sign you see or a phone call. Talk to people. And I guarantee if you talk to 3 or even 2, one of them is Frank, you're going to pick Frank. And you're going to call and tell me why. 303-920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
This report is brought to you by QC Colorado.
There's a few slow spots in the drive across.
Yeah, I called you about it one time, though.
You did about what was wrong with it, or whatever with it.
I ended up having to replace the motor on it, but the,
Okay.
yeah, the cam was
I'm going to have
flat.
you do your mic, because when you see
So
your face is
you have
turned
to have
off,
a-
that's
How
the
do
camera.
you get a flash?
You can't go like that.
There's have to have a zinc additive in the oil for those, and I don't know.
They took it out.
Something with that older motor, they have to have a zinc additive in it, and the cam flattened out.
But how do you know this? Did someone tell you? Is it in the book? I mean, I've never heard of
All the
this.
newer motors
all the newer motors have roller lifters.
So you gave up on that.
And they took that zinc additive out because all the newer motors have that roller lifter on them. And old flat tappets just eats them up.
Yeah.
Well, explain to me
What you brought to the hospital?
the tappet wearing on the cable just rubs the cable
He hooked on the bus, and the lead and gas used to take care of that. He had the...
No, it's the zinc
Guy
additive.
pulled it down.
Took over the bus. I know, but
Because the guy pulled it down.
with lead, didn't that get throughout?
And the driver passed out.
Well, it kept, yeah, it did.
Too much lead did, but there was just a
You
right
kept
amount
on
of lead.
making the stops.
A lot
how
of,
come?
but with the oil system,
Because they were
why-
pulling the valve, hitting the stick.
It's all over the hot rod magazine. You have an old flat tappet motor, you got the zinc additive in.
what did he carry it in?
I had it in the
Yeah,
camo.
I believe that. Yeah.
Cracker jack box.
Just a couple
Right,
inches
with ice
this
and-
way. Yep, right there.
Okay.
Did you buy that online?
No.
Are you, Brent's gonna do noon, if Salisbury's available, are you okay with
Here's the tough
12:15
one.
for
The
him,
first
or is
one's
that
tough.
too?
I'd rather do about 4 than 1.
Okay,
Two
let
in the
me
one. I mean, it's all right.
Let's see
I
what he
can.
can do
Tell him
then.
I can, but I'd rather do it sooner.
Fuller will be available soon.
What motor do you have? What instrument?
He was married. He had a fake wife.
I don't know, you just had to grab him.
She wanted
For
45%.
345.
But he found
I know,
something.
he found something from the short ball that he's on.
I have a 304 and a 345.
Make it count, but if they can't, that's
Yes,
fine. It was
I will tell
some
him.
And then they've got their-
loss.
840 or what?
It was his
The
wife.
international.
Oh,
Was it
international.
a necklace?
Yeah, okay.
You lock it.
Lock it.
His dead wife.
Yeah.
Oh, it was his dead wife. But he still had another one that he was wearing the mother's
That was
It was a 78,
different,
the trash.
show.
same dry cleaner.
Same dry
My friend there on that
cleaner.
one. Couldn't carry it.
I accidentally took it off the jump and
That's hilarious.
kept running.
How did Eric?
And what did it do that broke the dry cleaner's coat of that?
Yeah, by working. How did Eric the clown put out the fire in the kitchen?
Stepped on it with his big shoe, I
He
would
did it
guess.
with his big
Oh, yeah, Coonrats.
Do you remember what the fireman said to George after he was saying, he's the hero on this?
ZDP, that's the zinc additive, right?
How do you
ZDP.
know there's
There's several of them. I think
And George goes,
STP has one.
it's very hard.
AutoZone has their own brand of them.
Yeah, they just took it out of the world and didn't tell anybody. And older cars just it ate them up.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
The first generation scouts just got killed by rust.
Yeah. Well, this one had a ton of rust in it too. I've been working on getting it torn apart and rebuilt. So.
Does like LMC truck and stuff make all the patch down?
I could play that video of her with the bag on. You want?
I've just been cutting these out all month myself.
Oh, okay.
We can put that up, yeah. Wait till we mention her again.
Okay, so long as John comes on, we're gonna pull this one, so don't do that one, right? And then, Salisbury says do a spot for him. He's unavailable.
But it would be available at 12:15.
No, he just said, please run my spot. So,
Those Broncos are so expensive.
For the car, Tom, I got a bunch of paperwork. On that car and stuff. It's a Marine. He just got out. Yeah. No, not the Scout. The guy who purchased the car. Corey. Probably his name is Corey. So on that, he just got out of the Marine Corps. He bought a car in California. It's a really fucked up deal.
It's amazing how cheap these freaking HDTVs are getting. God, just when you think you found one, they just get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, Mark. These big HDs.
Yeah, but you want it, the new ones you want. Or,
Gosh, how do you keep it right? It's a Samsung. I love Samsung.
I haven't seen him.
No response at all. Oh, I had one that was 6,000. It was a stupid, what do you call the very first ones where there was this name? Plasma. Yeah, but there was,
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Cam Solar, remember that name, Cam, C-A-M, Cam Solar. If you want to buy a solar system for your home, you may think, I don't know if it's going to pay or not. I'm going to tell you how to tell, okay? You go to this website I'm going to give you, and then they will get back in touch with you within 20 minutes with a full, complete analysis of your lot. Okay, with an algorithm, they can tell how much sun you're going to get, and they will write a 20-year performance guarantee. Their projections have not been off with the 3,000 systems now in use. So, you get a 20-minute analysis. If you want to go forward, they'll sit with you, and you get tax credits, utility company rebates. You don't put a penny out of your pocket, and you save from day one. They have low-cost financing. Now, here's the website. Go camsolar.com/troubleshooter. Now, it's just for my troubleshooter listeners, okay? And they also have a 20-year parts and component warranty. So you really, really have a great system with them, and it's transferable to other owners. So when you sell your home, you can just sell the system with it because there's no lease to take over. Go camsolar.com/troubleshooter. Okay, let's talk. Wow, Paul, a convicted sex offender, lives next door to you. Is that right, Paul?
Well, actually, he lives in our building. I live in a condo building with about 100 units, and he has recently purchased a unit in the building.
Okay. Paul, you know, we get this call quite frequently, and one of the things I want to say is that people assume if there is a sex offender near them that they will reoffend. I'm not sure what the stats are on that. I hear it's pretty high that they do, but not usually where they live. But I don't want to get into that. Here's the deal. Does it give you an icky feeling? It gives people an icky feeling. Suzanne, how would you feel if right next door in that house on that cul-de-sac, you had a registered sex offender that moved in and had to register? How would you feel?
I would actually look into what kind of offense it was to see, is this a guy who was messing with a young girl, or is this a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old kind of situation?
Or was this maybe even something like urination in public? I mean, really, some guys get okay. But I don't know how many details you can get. How can you?
It'll say class 4, class 3 on the registered site.
I would fear one thing and one thing alone mainly. And of course, I would want my children to be safe. But I'm talking about the perception could, I think, affect your property value. It really could.
Oh, it could. Our old house in Castle Rock in Red Hawk, there was a creepo one street over. The saddest part about it is he had 2 little kids, and our kids would come home and just tell us all the crap the other kids would give these kids because their daddy was a sex offender. So you got to think at how it also affects the children in that house.
God, you know. Anyway, go ahead, Paul.
It's really affecting my house particularly because I have my youngest daughter still living with me. She's 11 and goes to elementary school. This man is very bad. He served federal time. He was caught with over 13,000 child pornographic pictures from ages toddler to preteen. The problem is now none of my daughter's parents will now let their children come over for a sleepover, to spend the night, to go play in our pool. We had planned a big pool party because next week's my daughter's birthday because we have a pool at the building. We had to cancel that. I managed to get it moved to, like, you know, a public pool, which is great. Now most of the kids can come now. But what do I do in the meantime?
Paul, I I totally sympathize with you, man. I do. But, Paul, what were you... I just want to ask you, you know, and while listen, I'm right there with you, but what were you hoping we would say? Like, you know, like maybe the landlord, you could tell them, and you know, I don't know, like, why would the landlord rent to a sex offender?
He purchased. He didn't rent.
Oh,
correct.
You're
He
right.
Purchased.
I'm sorry.
He has
I
a
assumed.
federal probation officer, and so, you know, I wanted to do that too. Was it just a couple kids doing something bad? You know, I didn't want to hammer on somebody that really hadn't done, you know, how these things get handed out now, like you were just speaking of. Anyways, this guy is a serious, hardcore offender. He's at high risk of reoffending, and talking to his probation officer, when they're released, they have the ability to put stipulations on where they live and how close to schools. This guy didn't get any stipulations. I have an elementary school a block away that my daughter used to walk.
Have you talked to the guy?
No, sir. I have not confronted him.
Have you seen him?
Oh, yes, sir. I have, and he's wearing his little bracelet.
Is he creepy looking?
Yes, he's very creepy looking. And now it's to the point I won't even let my daughter go in and out of the building without either her.
Oh, that sucks, man. How long have you owned it, Paul?
I've been there 2 years, and it's a really nice condo, and he purchased about 4 months ago. And just a couple months ago, my daughter came home from school saying, you know, a couple of her friends couldn't come over because we have terrorists in the building. I'm like, what do you mean terrorists in the building? So I started researching. Well, that's what their parents were telling them instead of...
Right.
So and I don't know what to do now. It's hurting my daughter more than anything.
All right, I don't know. Mark, what would you do? I don't think you can do anything except move. I don't know. Dan, what would you do, Deputy Dan? Move. Would you literally move? Yeah.
Well,
Deputy Clint, would you move?
My family's not worth the risk.
You're right, and we're looking at moving, but I was wondering if there's some way maybe I could get him to move, because I'm in Colorado Springs. And
I don't know. You know, how would you... you know, in America, we're free, and we have rights, and he has rights, and he didn't do anything wrong by buying it. So what do? You know what?
I guess you could hang out in the lobby and tell everybody walking in and out what kind of a creepo he is.
I would be so upset as well. Yet, oh my God, what do you do?
Yeah, moving's really hard. I live in the Springs. The housing... You guys know what's happening.
You know, this guy knows. This guy knows that everyone knows, right? He knows that everyone knows. No? Yes?
I don't really know, sir.
Is
I don't really know.
Is he, first of all, registering?
Yes, he is. He is registered. That's how I got all the info. I even talked to the detective on his case and his federal probation.
If any of my listeners have ideas, give me a call. You know, you could ask him to move. I mean, you know, it would be nice.
Would it be legal for me to post his criminal record and his mugshot on the bulletin board?
Well, that's up to your... There's nothing... You're asking if it's legal. We have rights to do freedom of speech. We can do anything we want like that if it doesn't violate... you know, things like your HOA may have something against it, but I don't see why you couldn't. But you want to put pressure on him so he leaves?
Yes, sir.
How long has he been there? You can make it uncomfortable for him. Of course you can. How long has he been there?
He's about 4 months, and I just...
How long has he been out? How long has he been out?
Of jail?
Yeah.
Not very long at all. He was convicted in 2008 and did, I think, 9 years.
Oh, crap. Listen, if anybody... Leave your number, please. Yes, you can publish anything you want. I mean, you know, listen, freedom of speech goes a long way. You know, you have a lot of rights. You do. You know, that freedom of the press is the same one we use. It's not just freedom of the press, it's freedom of expression. It's freedom of speech. And you can even attack others freely. You can. I mean, they can come after you for defamation or falsehoods if they're false, but if they're true, you know, it's really difficult to stop someone. If anyone has an idea, give us a call, 303-713-8255. You know that I love saving money, and you know that I love buy and build, 4800 Washington Street, below wholesale. If you go there, you're going to thank me. And in fact, I'd love to get a call from anyone who's been there, okay? I know that all of us here on the staff, we go. You know, contractors go, and also consumers go, or you can send your contractor. It's for anyone. It's truly below wholesale. We're talking about floor coverings and like tile and hardwoods and laminates, and they have cabinets, they have granite, they have light fixtures, all kinds of lighting fixtures. You know how expensive they can be. They're like you find one for $120. I'm serious when I say this. That you will see in a big lighting store for $1,200. Same with toilets. You can buy toilets $80, $100 compared to $600, $800. You can buy plumbing fixtures of all kinds. You got to see it to believe it. A big ugly warehouse. That's what it is. 4800 Washington Street. Not big on thrills. On frills, I mean, but big on thrills. And I always joke about this. 4800 Washington Street, big ugly warehouse, like the big ugly owner, Courtney Pierce. He's been around for years, and you can trust him to have the great deals. And as I said, I'm only kidding. It's not that ugly of a warehouse. Okay, 303 29. Well, you don't need the number. Just go there. 4800 Washington Street. In fact, there is no reason to call. You go to the website. Okay, it's artofgranite.net.
This is Denver's Talk Station.
I've never heard you do that.
I was looking at it. Okay, I'll come back.
I was there yesterday.
Were you really?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
More than small cabinets.
Because I just love the way.
Now I gotta come.
I hate when I do this.
Did I show you that swing I got there?
No, you told me about it.
Did you write commercial lines?
What did Jerry?
I know you already realized you mixed two spots.
I will.
What did Jerry tell
The
me?
Art of Granite and Fuller is available, so I'm going to get him on the horn, okay?
Yeah.
And then we'll
More.
put Lazaro.
What was it good for?
Okay, great.
Yes, I feel like you do. I might have Mark.
Holy cow! How much
You what?
I might have Mark take over sooner than I thought.
Oh, I didn't know he was taking
No,
over
I'm
at all.
talking about.
Oh.
I'm like,
in
years. I don't mean like I mean like next year.
Like it swings, right?
Yeah.
Can you make it so it doesn't swing, so it's just a coach?
It'd be pretty hard because it's off there. But yeah.
So, Clint, if I have a part I want made,
Sure.
and I can get one from someone to copy, do you have access to CNC?
Yeah, I can go into school.
What materials?
Whatever you want, pretty much. What they made of.
Can you make me a dental implant? Just kidding.
That'd be kind of cool. We printed some of those, but they're in plastic.
I wouldn't doubt that surgery they would have a plastic implant.
The
3D printing.
Yeah, the 3D printer.
Do you know, 3D printing, we haven't even scratched the surface on what that can do. You know, Martin Marietta, it's not called Martin Marietta anymore, is it? What is it called?
Something, well, Martin Aerospace. Or,
anyway, that big giant company.
Lockheed Martin.
Yeah. So, I live next door to the president, and he, so in a tour, they have these specific, they print full metal and steel, not metal, but like titanium and all that crazy stuff, and they can literally print parts for like stuff. And what I don't understand is how they print with negative space, but they do, that where it all connects, and it looks like it has to be put together. But they print, and they I don't know how they do it. They stem over negative space to what looks like somebody assembled it.
there's two cartridges. One is the material that the stuff's made out of, and the other is called filler material. Like if you make
then the filler material breaks away?
Yeah, or dissolves with certain liquids. But like if you're making a mushroom, when you go up, you can't print on that space out, where there's nothing on, as a mushroom. So the filler stuff comes up under that mushroom, so there's something there when you get there to print out.
That's not where they're printing homes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Homes?
Yeah, with the tubes of concrete.
They have cavities.
Like big giant big giant toothpaste, it goes like that and makes a wall.
Oh, okay.
And then it goes blank, and then there's a window space. It's just crazy.
No, you're right, man.
They had a printer that printed plastic and metal that they were sending up to the International Space Station. Instead of a toolbox, anytime they needed a tool, they just print it. But like a screwdriver, just the tip would be metal.
I went to a futures class, not a class, but a little seminar on what to expect in the future, and they said that there may be machines that literally at a store you go to,
and they print the part instead of just stocking it. You know, they like the manufacturers have the specs. You put the card in the machine, and they just print the part for you.
You know the molds to make a plastic part, like the cap of this thing?
Oh my God!
The darts that they shoot people with, the police do. I can't think. Tasers. It's literally a fish hook with a little plastic BB, so it'll go down the barrel. BB's called it Sabo. The mold, we make the mold to make those things. The two sides, each side's $175,000 before you machine it.
So there's I've also had a concept. I thought if you had a giant vending machine and you have all of the materials in it, all of the drugs, they could compound a prescription. So you put in your prescription. What's that?
Much better accuracy.
And then literally your pill, your painkiller, or is acetaminophen in this, or your antibiotic or whatever is printed. Not printed, excuse me, is dispensed right there. It's made.
That's a good idea.
And so your prescriptions would be done in a machine, a big secure, and all of the raw materials here. So you don't have all the pills, you have raw materials that make it. It's a compounding pharmacy.
Paint's done that way. You can do pharmacy that way.
Okay, I'm Tom Martino, and sometimes I just have those senior moments. Yes, I may not look it, act it, or feel it, but I am going to be 65, and I said, buy and build. And I said, artofgranite.net. It's buyandbuild.net. Buyandbuild.net. But speaking of Art of Granite, of course, I don't want to slight my friend Mitch Floria. Of course, he does. He has a different kind of business. He'll go and do your kitchen for you with cabinets. Small markup from the manufacturer, but a direct stone importer, that's artofgranite.net, and he gives you prices on the phone. That's what I love about him. Prices on the phone. That means you can call, and he doesn't say, well, come on in and let's talk. He will literally give you a price based on some measurements and some, what you tell him. Now, obviously, if you stick to that situation, that price will be right on. And even if you are off a little, it's not going to be off more than a few $100. Mark did it. He used Art of Granite. And you will love the way he does business. He doesn't charge for tear out and haul away. He doesn't charge for the bath when you have the kitchen done. And he does beautiful work. Always wholesale on the material, artofgranite.net. Now, here's where you call for a price on the phone, okay? 303-386-5919. Now, remember this. It's artofgranite.net for Art of Granite. And then for all the building supplies and stuff, buyandbuild.net. Okay, I did separate them, got them right. Okay, now, on the phone, our personal injury expert is going to answer a question or tell us about some concepts I find very important. And we have a guest, Andy, and Andy, he's a fan of the show. He was at a ball game. Andy, explain what happened. I mean, we never really got an explanation. We saw some fantastic photos. John Fuller, welcome. Let's listen to Andy's story. What happened, Andy?
So Sunday's game against the Reds, 6th inning, first batter. We were sitting off the third baseline, and they fouled the ball, and it just came cruising. I had my hands up to catch it, but
no, you saw it coming at you.
I saw it coming. I was actually paying attention to that part of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it came quick. It kind of popped up, but came down, and I had my hands up to catch it, but went through my hands, and luckily I was wearing my sunglasses. So
so it hit. You mean to tell me it did all that damage with your sunglasses?
Yeah.
So did it just go through the sunglasses? Did the sunglasses break?
The lens on the sunglasses shattered. The frames didn't break, so it had to hit just dead center on the lens.
And did any of the lens go in your eye?
No.
Wow. But did it shatter into small pieces?
I don't know. I wasn't looking around after that.
And then what happened? It hit your eye.
So hit my eye. They rushed me out of the stadium, took me to the ER.
You didn't faint?
No, I was conscious through the whole thing.
Okay, and as soon as it hit you, did you feel like did you feel the pain?
I felt the pain. I thought I was all right because I thought I was just going to get a black eye or something. Then open my eyes and I look at the ground. There's just blood everywhere, and
it was bleeding pretty hard. You have some stitches. And what about? Did you see anything like light? That eye?
No. So at the stadium, they took me into their little medical area, and he covered my left eye, and the doctor was holding my right eye open and told me to, how many fingers do you see?
There was a doctor there?
Yeah, they've got a mini ER there in the stadium.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, they set me up with an IV and everything there. But he had my eye held open. So how many fingers you see? And I couldn't see anything. And that's kind of when I knew I had an issue.
Wow. Now, obviously, you never thought about suing or fault or anything like that. We're just exploring this just for intellectual purposes. You know, so for people listening, he didn't come to me saying, I want to do something about this, right? I mean, you know, and just out of curiosity, since everyone has friends and worse brother-in-laws, did you... brothers-in-law, I mean, did anyone ever say, you ought to sue them? I'm just curious if you ever heard anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's everybody on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's, you're going to own the organization.
Yeah. But why did they say that? I always love, and John Fuller probably does at cocktail parties, loves these conversations because people assume so much about personal injury. But what do they say on Facebook about it?
You know, just...
That it was negligent?
Yeah, they better be giving you season tickets, and you know, it should be on them, and it's nothing on the organization.
Of course,
it's on the ticket. You assume the risk when you show up to the game.
Hey, how about Major League Baseball though? Forget about the teams right now. How about if the netting's not done? How about if other stuff like that?
Well,
how about if it's not proper?
That would be the stadium. So I'm going to ask a number of things. The first concept I want John Fuller Law. And it's personalinjuryco.com. John Fuller, would you just explain what is assumed risk? And I don't believe it even has to be in writing, does it? Like you assume risk. Explain the concept of assumed risk.
Hi, good morning, Tom.
Hey.
The general concept of assumption of the risk is that certain activities that are inherently dangerous, by agreeing to participate in them, that you assume some of the risk of a bad outcome or an injury happening as a result. It was an old defense in common law. It's still used today in almost every negligence type case. If they can allege that the plaintiff did something that increased the risk, then they do so, and it operates to reduce the damages. In this case, it's not just simply the common law version of assumption of the risk. If you'll think back to when we got the Rockies, it was in 1993, and at a purely coincidental, we happen to have our legislature passing the Colorado Baseball Spectator Safety Act of 1993. We passed a law in Colorado that says that you by participating and by going to a game, that you absolutely assume the risk, and that assumption of the risk operates as a complete bar to any lawsuit that you might bring against an owner of the team. So why is that important? In a common law version, it doesn't operate as a complete bar, but the jury gets to evaluate and determine what percentage of your damages might have been attributable to that assumption of the risk. But here, under this statute, the assumption of the risk operates as a complete bar. And that's why this gentleman has no chance of recovery against the Colorado Rockies or against the baseball authority or any way you want to caption them. Yep.
So, would a stadium, ball field, hockey thing, anywhere where venues, do they have any obligation to shield, like behind home plate or anywhere? Like, do they have any obligation? I'm talking about absence now. We're not talking about the law now. We're talking about the practicality in the absence of a law. Do they have any responsibility to lessen risk?
Yeah, I think they do. I mean, if the owner fails to make reasonable and prudent efforts to design, alter, and maintain the premises, they still can be sued. So then we come into the question of what's prudent. Do we surround the entire baseball field with netting? I mean, it's always a double-edged sword. When they put up netting on these type of venues, you have at least half the crowd saying, take it down, it interferes with my view, and the other half says, you need to put up more. So there's a balance that has to be taken between what's, statistically, who's most likely to be hit, third base line, first base line, those kind of
Now,
issues.
We've heard of players sometimes getting pissed off at comments and running up into the stands. What if he was making a comment over here, my Andy here, he's making a comment, and the guy turns around and throws the ball at him? Would that fall under the assumed risk?
I don't think it would, Tom. I don't believe that would have been one of the inherent risks in baseball. That would be more of an actual assault by one of the players.
Okay.
And I think that you have at least an individual act against that player. Keep in mind, the Colorado Baseball Act only really applies to tort claims against the owner, not so much a player that might run up in the stand and assault somebody.
Okay.
That case I would take.
Yeah. John Fuller, Fuller Law. Thank you. 303-597-4500. That's John Fuller. And, of course, it's personalinjuryco.com. So there it is. We're going to talk to our common man. And then, of course, we have Dan here with Insurance Group of Denver. And we have so many interesting topics, some follow-ups, too. And then we have Frank on the line who says, hey, I have a pedophile living next to me. I'll talk about that. I'll tell you how I handled it. Plumline Services will save you on air conditioning right now with their special. Here's their summer special. You get half off on air conditioning when you buy a furnace. They're a combination unit, high efficiency. So you get some rebates from utility companies, like around $1,500, and you also get a big discount from Plumline. And another thing you get from Plumline is low cost, in fact 0% financing for a year. You got to call about that. That's like, you know, you can wait a whole year. So you can call them about that, half off. Now you may think, oh, they're just raising the price of the furnace. Absolutely not. This is their normal price on the furnace, and they'll take half off on the air conditioner, okay? Here it is, 303-586-1086, 303-586-1086, plumlineservices.com.
Hey, Andy, are they going to charge you for the medical procedures they did there at the stadium?
I
don't know about a stadium, but I'm sure I'll get it built in Denver.
Right. But I meant right because they had the doctor there, they were giving you an IV and stuff at the stadium.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know.
That's a good question because
I don't think so. I imagine that's correct.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't take my insurance information or anything at the stadium.
So they took they don't have to have your insurance. They just,
yeah, but I don't think they.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I just don't think they will. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, that would be just bad politics to do that.
Yeah.
And I think they started the IV when I was in the ambulance and not, maybe not in the
You get charged for the ambulance charge.
Yeah.
Into 5-star resorts in Mexico. Hotels.
Stop trying to stir it up.
No,
See this, Mark? Trying to stir it up?
I didn't hear what he said. What did you say?
Oh, they're going to send him a bill from the Rockies for the better.
No, I went to the game last night.
He said we should
I
slap
tried to
the
get me a
Rockies.
ticket for the game last night.
I didn't slam it.
No.
But I mean, you how many times we get that thing? Bill for
So are you
ambulance.
saying?
Oh, the ambulance can
Yeah.
cost. Do you have an ambulance?
Yeah.
That's going to cost.
You trying to search and sit up?
Here, I'll blank
It will. It is going to cost.
Why did you send me a blank email?
I don't think I did.
For what? No. Hey, what did this blank email mean from Low, C-R, L-O-C-R?
Learn how to make money in the stock market? The Trading Group Show, Sundays at 3.
Navita is up, Walmart's down.
4004 for a free demo.
Today?
Today is
Yeah,
the day to break the stranglehold of addiction.
Today?
You and your family can't lose another precious dangerous viral disease. If you're someone you know is abusing alcohol, prescription drugs, ask them or if it's a mental health issue, if I can call them live on the air for low fun and ask them what's not alone.
What's that?
Help. Call the Raleigh House today. They've established a
You know,
special number. I'll just be calling cold.
What
I can talk to anyone
there
there. Just be general.
makes a little difference. If I owned a company like that, I would want almost 5 times.
You got to be so careful.
You're trying to remember that plasma monitor. Was it a Rumco?
Yes.
Coke
That was the number one brand.
Yeah, it's in my motorboat. It pops up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Plasma, they were the first in the space.
We had a bear.
Oh, they were so ridiculous.
We had a moose out of
Plasma.
amazing.
Oh, a picture of him?
Yeah.
Is he a big boy? Those things are ginormous, man. I'd like to see a bear take on a moose.
Yeah.
Head to head.
Head to head. Mono to mono.
Mono to mono. What do you think it was? The bear.
Oh, no, the moose.
Is it a moose?
It was like a black
How about if it's a Kodiak, huh? A Kodiak bear from the Kodiak Island that was brought in just to fight the moose.
I'll give it to the bear then, but a moose.
Okay, thanks.
The moose is taking meth.
Holy shit, that's
A meth moose.
a moose is snorting meth.
Okay.
You
He takes a lot of meth, too. That big nose.
Way back in the 60s, my uncle and I got treed up in Yellowstone. That was how long were you up there? About 3 hours.
About 3 years ago, a lady got trampled to death by a moose up there.
This was a mom and a baby, and we were trying to walk up the river and walked around the corner, and there she was.
And that same thing, they had dogs and they had babies.
Why didn't you just wrestle?
Hey, Tom,
Yeah.
I know you already announced
about
noon,
12
but this
at the
guy
time.
became available earlier. Is it cool that I get him on?
Of course.
Okay, do you want this info?
But I want it when we get right after the hours. Yeah, no.
Okay,
I want
yeah.
that info. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, who am I? Who am I?
We have a count.
If you need the best granite in the world, we call John Fuller.
Beer and
1-800 plumb line.
Things we've never seen are starting to move down. They're becoming fairly calm.
You think he ignores me on purpose?
Who, me? Oh, no, I didn't hear, honestly, what you say.
I said,
Oh, the aircraft, right?
No. I said, who's this? For the best granite in the world, who do you call? John Fuller. 888 plumb line.
That's
Drew, run all 3 of them. I don't think I've ever heard you do that in 3-4 years. So I don't know what you're doing.
I can't believe it doesn't happen.
He's mad. He's got upset about that Steve's email. Steve Kill.
You did screw that guy over big time.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Okay, let's go. And this is something that's important. Coming up after the news here at 11 o'clock, we're going to have this psychotherapist and counselor on sex addiction and sex crimes and all of that. So stay tuned for that. That's when we'll talk about that situation in Pueblo. And Frank's got a comment on the pedophile living next door. So go ahead, Frank. You listen to this guy who said, hey, I have a condo, and the condo next to me is a registered sex offender. Hardcore man, did 9 years, had 32,000 pictures of little kids and videos, and he's very upset. What did you do in your situation, Frank?
All right, so you can get their CBI report, which is their official police report, background report. You can post that information. However, you cannot post it with malicious intent or with knowledge that it may result in malicious intent, i.e. you cannot put the guy's life in danger or in a situation that might result in
like insights like, well, we need to do something about this guy, and here's where he is, and he leaves the house at precisely this time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The other thing, I know this, and this is going to sound horrible, but this is a fact. You've got to take into consideration that the guy did not actually assault a child. I'm assuming he didn't. I don't know his police report.
In other words, he may have been just a pornographer, so to speak.
He could. There's a huge difference between looking at the pictures and actually acting on a child.
Hold on a second. Go ahead.
That said, that's the situation that we're in. We have one of 6 violent sexual predators who actually assaulted his daughter and her friend.
And he's living next door to you?
He has his business next door to me, but let me make this even worse. You know what the situation is?
He what?
He's opening up an arcade.
For kids?
In Lakewood. No. For kids, an arcade.
Yeah, that's what I said, yeah.
I mean, what are arcades for?
Yeah.
How many arcades do you know, pinball arcades, that are not for kids?
Yep. That's terrible, Frank. But listen, what do you do about it?
So, in this guy's situation, he does need to report it to the condo association, and unfortunately, the condo association is just going to have to stay on top of it, if you will.
Yeah, thank you.
If he blinks, the condo's going to, the association's going to have to stay on top of him, but there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
I had an argument to a degree with a realtor a while back.
Yeah, about?
And she was trying to tell me that she couldn't even really disclose if there was someone on the sex offender list, like in the neighborhood. She was supposed to tell you to look it up. He just made me think of that.
And
there's some bizarre rules out there.
I don't believe that. But I think
I don't think that's correct.
I think what she was referring to, you cannot redline a community. You cannot steer people into communities based on demographics or based on, although everyone does it, ethnicity. You're not supposed to, Mark. it's an old expression called redlining, but you know, I think they misinterpret that a lot. I wanted to talk to this sex addiction expert, since we have him. Since we're on this topic, I would like to, I know we're going to take him on this Pueblo situation, but Matthew, if you're there, Matthew, and I pronounce your name Pichulo?
You got it, Tom.
Hey, Matthew,
Yes,
quickly, with a sex offender that watches pictures and looks at pictures and videos, are they likely to offend in the future?
So really, there's an interesting dynamic with, and this depends state to state.
But I'm talking about, have you known statistically that people who look at videos and pictures to offend, and then we can elaborate right after the break, yes or no, have you known them to eventually offend?
No.
All right, hold on.
Now's the
Tell him we'll let him elaborate on both topics now, okay, Suzanne?
Oh, past the elevators, turn right and right again. Right.
God, we got so much to do.
I know. Well, it's our own deadline, so we can do what we need to do. I'll take care of my part. I need to get this. If I can't post highlights and stuff, we have a problem. That one little problem can be bigger than we think. I need to be able to post. So let's figure that one out.
I want to see School of Rock.
With the play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the movie.
The only problem is this Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Who is it?
Andrew Lloyd Webber, producer, and they're all freaking formula.
You know who stars in it though? Here in Denver.
Who?
Tom Cruise.
Really? Are you sure?
No.
I've never even seen him
He
associated
bit.
with School of Rock. Hey,
I don't think he's a Broadway.
John Travolta.
Coming back.
No, Roseanne Barr.
Yeah.
She'll never be back.
She plays Jack Black.
Unless this mental illness issue. But what? Even if Ambien did make me do it, Ambien made me do it, I'm going to get T-shirts.
I love their response. Although all of our drugs do have some minor side effects.
Being a racist is not one.
Racist is not one of them. They got a good PR guy.
Some people just.
Can you imagine
That's what
that?
I mean, though. Even if it does give you a lack of
it's born from
inhibition.
somewhere.
If it takes away inhibitions, then that means it was on your mind. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because
I've heard it causes nightmares and weird stuff.
And sleepwalking, terribly.
Yeah, sleepwalking.
Our neighbor Annie. In fact, I sent you a
We've
quote
had
of her
some
for Frank
serious
Grant. She literally would get up and walk around even outside on that stuff. But no racist rants.
No.
Not one.
I had a problem for years with sleepwalking, but one with Ambien. Just,
God, I never slept on that I know of.
I did it since I was a kid.
Addie, my daughter, when she was probably, I want to say,
A lot of kids.
5, she had what they called a night terror. It only happened to her once. Holy shit. We couldn't wake her up. And it was bloody murder screaming for over an hour. It was the weirdest
You would
thing.
not wake her up for over an hour?
Could not wake her up. It was horrible.
This was Addie?
One time when she was probably 4 or 5.
Did you try throwing water on her or anything? Or?
I don't remember honestly how it ended. We sat there in that hallway and she just was screaming.
I've heard of that, night terrors.
Oh my God. So we brought her to the doctor and everything. They said, yeah, it'll probably never happen again. It never did.
Said they outgrow it, yeah.
It was one time though.
Yeah.
It's not even outgrown. It's like, what? But that was terrifying. I think we'd have to go through that again, like it was going to be a long-term issue.
It was tied?
Did your kids ever have one?
No.
God, it was crazy. I think it's really little kids, though.
Mine did. A friend of mine had a boy that was, I thought it was tied to some other thing usually, though, but I can't remember what it was.
No, we were so freaked out. She had her at the doctor the next day, and Addie didn't remember any of it.
Like it was, I don't remember what it was.
Maybe it wasn't a full hour, but man, it sure felt like an hour. It could have been, though.
I can't remember. It was tied to...
How long did Addie's night terror last years ago? She must think I'm just crazy. I come up with these questions.
No, in college I had a roommate who would get
How
up
long, when Addie had that night terror, how long do you think that last?
Get up and pee in the
Was it like an hour?
When I sleepwalk, I set a formal table.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I even do
Hour.
origami napkins, and I don't know how to do it.
It's like a
Yeah, and I stack throw rugs. I just do weird shit that makes no sense.
We can all agree. Fashion.
Yeah. Huh?
Idiots of Vanta fashion.
Yeah.
Home decor.
I can fold little animals out of paper towels. I have no idea how.
You need a sort of a camera.
Oh, well, our house was haunted for a long time. I put trying to blame it on that.
Island one like that.
What's that?
Sleepwalking.
He did a sleepwalk and he fixed the radio to make it
I've never done that. I woke up in a car.
Was it Howell or Gillis?
Listen to this voicemail I got. Listen to this voicemail. Listen. It's a robot, generic Viagra. How did they get your number?
It's when you call them.
No. No, seriously. How did they do it?
Yes, that case.
How did they even know it's a man?
Somehow you got
You're turning 65. I started getting all
But
sorts
how do they know it's a man?
I don't know.
Part of the AARP membership.
Yeah,
Could be.
yeah, very well could be.
I'm not a part of that.
I'm not part of that either, but boy,
Generic Viagra.
I turned 65. I started getting all the Viagra ads. And
Really?
penile implants, all sorts of stuff.
That must be a big business. ED, because you see it all over.
Oh man, everywhere.
Like supplements and the thing about the needle though, that's the thing that scares the hell out of me.
The what? Needle?
The needle in the
the injection.
They give you a shot, man.
You know they have those needles so like I got the diabetic pens. They're so little you don't feel them. They're literally so tiny. Yeah. They're like an acupuncture needle. And when you do the BioT, do they make how do they insert that? For BioT?
I was going to call him. I'm just going to call cold and make it look cold and ask for Courtney. After the 11:15 break. So they make a little slit, and then they have a tool that takes these pellets. They put in the pellets all at once.
Yeah.
And then they push it in, and it does it, and then the pellets get pushed into a line.
So it's the same thing on a guy as they do my wife. My wife has that. They make.
Yeah, of course.
Does it hurt?
No, because they numb you.
Oh, they do.
It's Novocaine, you know.
Okay.
And then they just insert it right under the skin, so it dissolves over.
I do the shots. Damn, that needle's
Shots don't work. Well, I mean, they do work, but they don't work evenly.
Yeah, you got to do them once a week, and that needle's the size
and
of a
then,
knitting needle.
and then you have a peak and a valley.
Yeah.
It's really better to have that nice, even.
Plus, you don't have to take all the supplements with it. But the BioT includes all the stuff for thyroid.
Not the pellet. Well, no, your wife's might. Mine doesn't. You can get.
Okay.
Troubleshooter.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. We are here to help you solve problems, to answer questions, and to take complaints and make your life a little easier. Fix It 24/7 will come to your home for $39. $39 and diagnose any problem with electrical or with plumbing or with heating. Anything you have that you want someone there, you know this. You will never spend more than $39 to get a complete written report. I'm a consumer advocate. This is what we do. We help people make buying decisions, selling decisions, career decisions, sometimes who to hire, who not to hire, what to do in life. Did someone lie to you, screw you, rip you off? Can we help you? We have full lines. We want to get right to them, okay? 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. And we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff coming up and Fix It 24/7. So it's really easy. If you have a problem in your home, you call them. FixMyHome.com. You can go there, and it's $39, and they will give you a complete, full written report. So you'll know. And it can take hours to find out what the problem is exactly, and they will guarantee they find the problem. Here's the deal. If you decide to have it fixed with them, they say you'll never find better value for the same product, same price, same service anywhere. Now, here's the deal. If you do have the work done, they will credit you even the $39. So it's $39. FixMyHome.com, and it is 720-526-3939. 720-526-3939. We have an expert standing by, and it is very important. But two people have waited very, very long. I just want to get to them very quickly here because they've been waiting. And then we go to Matthew Pachulo, which is a sex addiction expert, and we have several questions for him. Denise, what's going on with the marching band?
Yeah, hi Tom.
Hi.
I just wanted to see if you could help us out here.
Sure.
We have been in our community for over 20 years, and we have a high school not too far from us. And being a resident here for so long, we've watched changes in our community as everybody else has. But I would say since 2015, what we've experienced is that when band practice starts, which is right behind our house and in our neighborhood, it's increased in the length of time. In terms of if it starts in June, it goes all the way through October, and then also practice times start in the afternoon and they go well into late in the evening. Now, my husband and I have corresponded with the school and actually Douglas County Superintendent.
Yeah. Now, if
time.
it doesn't violate noise ordinances, it's going to have to be a cooperation thing, nothing more.
Right.
Does it violate, first of all, the decibel levels when you check them? Because they do have specific decibel levels, so many feet from property lines
and different times.
Right.
Yes, and that I don't know for sure, but what we did do was my husband has tried repeatedly to get a meeting with the principal to say, hey, look, we all know we're living in a growing community. We know exactly where the high school is. We knew that when we bought the house. But we've got to work on a schedule that works for everybody. And, you know, in the summertime...
All right, so he won't meet with you, but where do we stand right now? Have they made any adjustments at all?
Well, that was something that we kept asking for last summer. They did abbreviate the length of the practice time, but it's still going well into the evening.
I don't know how they can adjust volume, frankly. I don't.
Well, Tom, we
not
do
on a
have
marching
solution.
band.
We've offered different solutions. There are 4 sides to the high school. All 4 sides have open spaces. There's also a football practice
Wait a minute.
field.
If all 4 sides have open spaces, what side?
Yeah.
There is not a 5th side. So what's the side you're on?
Yes, we are.
Denise, that makes no sense.
You're
You said
walking in her neighborhood, marching in her neighborhood on her street.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait. Now, there's no they're marching in your street?
No, they're behind the house.
Oh, pardon me.
Actually, yes, the reason why they use the east side of the building, this is what we were told by the principal.
Well, you said there's open space there.
There's a parking lot there, and that's why they use it, and they have it painted with the lines of a football field. But on the north side is the actual practice football field that isn't always in use, and there aren't homes close to that.
Oh, okay.
Then again on the north side, just slightly south, but it's still on the north side, is a teacher parking lot.
Here's the deal.
On the west side,
okay, you don't have to go through this.
I'd like to hear it.
This is dreadful to go through all the details. Nobody cares about the details. All we care about is it too loud or are you exaggerating? And why won't the school at least make that adjustment to the practice field? I mean, if they have a practice field that's not always in use, you'd be happy if just when it's not in use they use it. If it's in use, okay. I mean, I don't understand why they won't make any little adjustment. So do you have any recordings of it in your home?
Yes, I do. I actually have a couple, which I tried to send, but because of the size of them.
No, it's easy to send. It's easy to send. When you say size, I mean, what size is it?
Well, the size of the file is
what
large.
size?
It's probably pretty big.
Well, hold on.
I don't know.
Is it a video?
Yes, videos.
Okay, because I'm more interested in not outside your home, but just normal inside your home. Does it come into your home, and is it very loud in your home?
Oh, yes.
Well, here's the deal. Where did you videotape from?
I videotape from my back porch.
Okay, that's good enough. Here's the deal.
When's the next time they're there? Do they practice yet today?
I put her on hold because here's what I want to do. I want to talk to the school for her. Let's just do that. Okay?
I'd like to go out and listen.
Yeah, okay. Denise, maybe we can arrange that to see if you're exaggerating. We can come out and listen. Are any other homeowners affected?
Yes.
Are they complaining?
Yes.
Can you give me a list of some homeowners, also your address? We're going to contact you, and maybe, Mark, you'll go down and listen?
Yeah, I'd like to. Does the band take requests?
Denise, listen.
Not that I know of.
Leave your information with Suzanne, okay?
Will do.
And we want the name of the person you talked to there, other than the principal, who else you talked to. It seems odd to me.
That would drive me crazy.
No,
Honest to God, it would drive me nuts.
No, it would. So hold on, all right? Now, I want to talk to Matthew Pichullo. Matthew is a sex addiction expert and registered psychotherapist, and he's been an addiction counselor for many, many years, mainly with men, Mountain Hope Counseling. Matthew, you can speak in general on a lot of different things because of your experience, and I asked you one thing that people that people were concerned about. If this guy living next door, this sex offender is registered, living next door to this guy with a daughter, and I rushed you through it before, I wanted to let you elaborate. Basically, if someone watches and looks and has videos and pictures, are they likely to offend, or aren't there any stats on it? I mean, where do you stand on that?
So there's two schools of this, and really, I think, Tom, the big deal is that a lot of the guys that are in possession of child pornography are not producers; they are consumers. So they're searching out material that is somewhere else. Most of the time, when they've been busted or they've been put into a program where they're now a registered sex offender, generally they're not in a place where they generally reoffend because there is so much scrutiny on them for that offense.
Okay.
Usually from family members, boundaries, internet, blockers, things like that.
Uh-huh.
The percentages, at least from my experience of the guys I've worked with over time, is relatively low on a recidivism for people that are actually just viewing images.
Well, that's comforting. Not not that we may call them model citizens, but they're not going to. They may not attack your daughter or son living next door to you. Still doesn't make it really comfortable. But okay, on the topic of this woman who took video of her stepdaughter, that's out of line. Would you say?
It's unbelievable in more ways than you can tell, because the long-term damage that just that act is going to do on that young girl is immeasurable. The second piece of it is that through what is considered an unlawful sexual offense in Colorado, the sexual exploitation of a minor, recording, filming, photographing, developing, or duplicating any
no matter what the intent, even if she said, "Well, I just wanted to show her dad."
Doesn't matter. Any visual depiction in which a minor under the age of 15 is engaged in exploitive or sexual conduct is a Class 2 felony.
Okay, so I want to know why, and this is not for you, but Deputy Clint, when you talk to Pueblo DA or Pueblo Sheriff's Department or Pueblo Police, all of which have done nothing, they're taking this lightly.
So there is a process. Like, even the guys that I've had whose houses have been raided by the FBI and their business computers have been confiscated, there is a period of review time that law enforcement agencies will go through to look at and assess the material prior to actually determining what level or magnitude of charges are issued against that person. So there is a hold period that goes on while that information is being. So I don't know that it's actually, I can't speak to say that it's been taken lightly, but there is a process that I see regularly with these types of things that requires some review before charges are brought or filed.
So they could be working on it behind the scenes.
Very true. Yes.
All right, now I want you to hold for a sec. I want to talk to you more. There is really a lot going on behind the scenes with this case, and other questions came through our email as a result of it. People anxious to know things. And he is an addiction expert on sex addiction. The Raleigh House, of course, deals with abuse of substances like drugs, illegal, legal, prescription drugs, alcohol. And if you have an issue, the Raleigh House has established a number specifically to answer your questions. It's not to try to give you a sales job on why you should use the Raleigh House. Now, listen, they're proud of their program, but they can keep full without having to, pressure you. They want to give information because they know if you have the right information, you're going to make the right choices. One of them might be, Salvation Army's free program if you're lucky enough to get in. There are all different kinds of approaches. The Raleigh House has its own. It's a wonderful facility. But here's the deal. If you call them, you can ask about anything regarding addiction. What are the signs? What do you look for? How do you approach an addict? Is it serious? How do I know what kind of an addiction, or what are the behavioral patterns? What about rehab? What is it? What is treatment? Are there different kinds? How long does it take? Does insurance cover it? What does it cost? Anyway, any questions, any and all about addiction, just like when we have Matthew here today, you know, so many people have questions on that sex addiction thing. Well, if you have questions about substance abuse at all, and everyone who has an addict in their life, they have questions. Here's the number. Free, confidential, no obligation. The Raleigh House sponsors it. 720-893-5559. 720-893-5559. Sponsored by TheRaleighHouse.com.
Pictures from
This report is brought to you by QC Colorado.
Let's start off with the good news. That earlier crash northbound I-25 north of Alameda has been cleared out of the way. Still residual backups. It is burning on the front end of that.
Well, I think I just
clearing
shared
out all the remnants of that earlier wreck northbound I-25 near 225 as well. Crash on eastbound C-470 slowing you down between University and Quebec. Watch out for crash on Spear northbound approaching I-25. With forecast sunny and beautiful today. Hot though. High near 90. Mostly clear overnight.
What,
Low
MS-13?
56 tomorrow.
No,
Sunny, much the same as today with a high near 88. It's right now, few clouds above in Denver at 81.
The MS-13
Traffic and weather. I'm Pete Wackman. 6:30.
Too hot to sleep? QC Colorado has the solution for you with a quiet, cool whole house.
I wrote him an email last week and said he had other things.
Oh, okay. Natural evening air.
Okay.
Cool your home for just pennies an hour. Go to
Covering up the scar.
Yeah.
There are a lot of celebrity endorsements in town telling you that
Somebody's doing better than I
you have to ask yourself,
I wanted to throw that to a Sharpie.
when you hear an on-air personality talk about Ideal Home Loans, it's because they picked up the phone and called us for their own
You're not supposed to have
personal home loan. To find out how we can help you, call us today at Ideal Home Loans, 303-867-7000, or online at idealhomoloans.com.
So we were the game last night.
Opportunity to regulated by DORA, NLS 136756 for terms and
Watching the
conditions.
balls go out. It didn't get any higher than that.
We talk a lot about cell therapy. I've done
So it popped up a little bit,
research
but it
which
used to
says
be the same spot.
just
No, we were at the right away.
They're internationally
And they were still popping balls and they're coming out of the edge every time they came over. Ducking under my glove.
Strategically delivered with guidance.
Bring that up.
Dugout.
They're eating donuts and watching the video.
Why would you go to
I was writing down that statute, the sexual exploitation of a minor.
Pro Auto Care now.
No, he's out all week.
That's right. He's in Mexico.
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 Out the jet setter. I put the number Courtney wanted you to call him at on the screen and told him.
Oh, after the screen.
Yeah.
So, if Tim asked about it, you
I
can say
tell you
he
what,
had that all
best thing
pre-arranged.
in the oh jeez.
Just a wallpaper. Boy, the Mara Salvatrucha.
What?
Meta Salvatrucha. MS-13. Their tattoos. He's got people on tattoos.
What does it mean?
Mara Salvatrucha.
What does it mean?
Oh, Mara means gang, and Salvatrucha was the guerrillas that fought in San Salvador. That gang, that MS-13 gang.
Trump's trying to get him out of there. He's really doing a lot for it.
They're
Get
Well, why not the Crips and the Bloods? I mean, why MS-13?
Because they're not as violent as MS-13.
Probably not as violent.
MS-13 chops them up. It chops people up.
A narrow palate, jaw, or
In fact, you just got, what, 2 teenage girls and stuff, they killed them with machetes?
and a lot of the MS-13 aren't citizens. It's just a terribly violent.
Cut them up. I mean,
Terror.
It's a terrorist gang.
If you cut someone up with cut their arms off, it's like that, makes a big deal with
Necklacing.
Part of their pledge is to steal, hurt, and rape or something.
Yeah, rape
is part of their pledge.
Rape, kill, and something else is their
Or kill, yeah. Steal, kill, rape, or steal, rape, kill.
Yeah, is their gang creed or motto. Yeah. It's horrible.
And Pelosi got mad at Trump for calling them animals.
Oh, come on.
Absolutely.
She did.
She says they're people. Yeah, absolutely. She said that. I'll get the exact quote.
They're, oh God, they're just unbelievable risk. And you know, most of them are American citizens, so you know they are really a terrorist organization in the country.
It's like a page right out of the drug cartel.
Yeah.
Call 800-960.
I don't know how I'm going to get this good name in our South leadership.
Yeah, that's all right.
I remember I did when you were really
criticized.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. And now he's calling her MSS lover, yeah.
What we ought to do is move U.S. troops out of Germany.
He's got,
She says, calling people animals is not a good
on
thing.
their face. MS-13 across.
You've got to have a mental health issue if you're...
They're
Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. Yes, we have a lot to talk about. Pro Auto Care for your car maintenance will get you great service on roadside anytime this summer or whenever you need it, because in between every repair, they not only warranty the repair, you know what they do? They give you free roadside assistance, not just for that repair, but for anything. I ran out of gas, or not ran out of gas, I had a flat. They helped me. I was having a car running rough and the trouble light came on. They helped me. In between each repair, so that's virtually all the time, it's 36,000 miles. If you become part of their family, they also text you reminders of oil changes or anything else you need for your car based on the VIN number. It's a great place. 2 locations near Evans and I-25 near Bowles and Santa Fe. 303-PRO-AUTO is the phone number. And the website, same thing, 303proauto.com. Okay, so we have to make this quick phone call because I just heard something about buy and build I want to verify. Somebody said they're not selling toilets anymore. I just find that hard to believe because I said you can get toilets pretty cheap, and I just want to find out. So I'm going to just cold call them here and see what happens. Is the big ugly owner around? Courtney?
May I ask who's speaking?
Tom Martino.
All right, 1 second. Let me go see.
He did.
Do I really got to repeat that?
Okay.
No, just kidding.
All right.
All right. All right, 1 second.
All right, cool. Yeah. I should have maybe said who I was first. I said it's the big ugly owner there. Yeah, he really didn't know what the hell was going on. Okay, so anyway, so we do have our sex addiction expert on, and we do have some very important questions for him. And then we have the international scout, Janet. Please don't go away.
This is Courtney.
Hey, Courtney, Tom Martino. I got to warn you, we're on the air.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, Courtney. Somebody said they called, and you guys. This is why I'm calling. You don't sell toilets anymore. That sounds. I don't know if that's true. Do you guys still sell toilets?
We still sell toilets.
Why did she say that, I wonder?
We don't have any round fronts in stock right now, so she might have been looking for a round front toilet, and all I have right now is elongated and...
Okay. Well, thank you. Courtney, by the way, do you get upset when I say the big ugly warehouse and the big, like the big ugly owner?
No, well, if you say big ugly owner, maybe, but big ugly warehouse, not so much, because it's sort of what we got.
Okay, and I don't really mean big ugly owner. Listen, you know, you're not that big. Anyway, Courtney, listen, I want to ask you the strangest thing, just out of curiosity, what's the strangest thing you have now in the bargain basement?
Oh, man.
Just what? Just pick something.
Let's see. Well, it's probably those crazy matches that we have, some novelty matches from Hawaii that are pretty hilarious.
Matches, like boxes of matches?
Boxes of matches. I know they're kind of out right now, but they're kind of funny. They have some phallic.
Okay. Say nothing more. Hey, what about? Do you still have guitar amplifiers? Deputy Clint was up there and said you had some guitar amplifiers.
We absolutely do. We don't really have those out, but if you talk to any of us, we can take you down to where.
Is that crazy?
Stuff is.
I mean, that's totally. And what's the biggest thing right now people are buying?
I would still say cabinets and granite are our biggest two, for sure.
Thanks, Courtney. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. So they are selling toilets, Suzanne. I don't know what they meant. Buyandbuild.net. They're still buying. They're selling. Okay. Let's go to the phones now, and I want to continue this very serious conversation with Matthew Pichulo, who's he is a sex addiction expert and psychotherapist. Sure. Matthew, on this case where the stepmom videotapes the daughter, and as you said, the police could be looking into it. It takes time. And but you think if in fact this did happen, it is a crime regardless of their intent. You can't videotape a child doing any of that. Now, is it abnormal for a 13-year-old girl, someone wanted to know, to be doing that in her bedroom on her own?
So it really depends on what else is going on, and I think in the contact that I had mentioned about you know, the relative health of the family, what her social life looks like, but I'll be honest, with the number of men and minors that I've seen come through the facility where we're dealing with 13, 14, 15-year-old kids that are just absolutely fully addicted to porn. They're
really?
having these networks, the sexting problem that's kind of going on that's permeating that age group of society. You know, when you and I were kids, probably not so much. But in today's society, unfortunately, in a fallen world where these kids are just getting barraged with this imagery and these pushed in peer pressure, yeah, it's becoming more and more common.
So you're saying masturbation can lead to sex addiction.
Yes.
But it doesn't always, obviously, because I would venture to say most everyone has done it, and we don't have everyone being a sex addict. I mean, what's the difference?
Right. So if I may, just out of fairness to the folks, right, that there is a huge difference between a sex offender and somebody with a sexual addiction. Science has proven that there is a neurochemical component to masturbation.
Really?
That literally the brain produces an enkephalin-type substance that, when tested, is 4 to 5 times more potent than morphine.
We're not talking about oxytocin here.
No. We're talking about a brain endorphin called an enkephalin, which is basically the brain's production of a natural opiate that happens during manual sexual relations.
So there is a true addiction.
There is. There really is. And if you look at the fact that our brains as human beings are not fully developed until our late 20s, if you got a guy who has figured out masturbation at 8, 10, 11, 12 years old, and they've been doing that hundreds and thousands of times between that first initiation and their late 20s, they've been feeding an underdeveloped brain with low doses of a Schedule I narcotic for a very long time.
Wow,
this is why guys that look at pornography over and over again, it's not the porn that they're addicted to, it's the chemical component of what's happening during the masturbatory process while engaging in that behavior.
Isn't that the same as with sex, though, or is it different?
I was just going to ask exactly the same. I wanted to ask you this. Does sex take the place of masturbation, or are there, because I heard one time, I don't remember where it was with a group of people, and this woman literally left her husband because of the masturbation problem. I'm thinking, why is he masturbating if he has a wife? I just didn't make the connection.
Yeah, and there's some different dynamics with a whole other topic called intimacy anorexia that kind of plays into that, but ultimately there are different levels of brain chemicals, and the part of the brain that activates during connected intimate sex with a committed partner, where the prefrontal cortex activates the happy part of your brain that experiences joy and pleasure.
Yes.
That there have been some studies out there that show that guys that masturbate, when they achieve sexual release, that part of the brain doesn't light up as much as the fear, guilt, shame, and anger portion of the brain. So different parts of the brain are being activated when you're having sex with a committed partner as opposed to when you're manually stimulating yourself.
Okay, so, but with an addiction, and this is what I find, I don't know, I find this hard to believe, and I almost make fun of it. I don't mean like make fun of the people, but like when people say, you know, restless leg syndrome, it's almost like we make up names for things just to have something to treat.
Sure.
Because saying a sex addiction to me is like saying, well, you have a breathing addiction or a food addiction. I mean, really, don't we all love sex? I mean, where does this addiction, where does it change? To an addiction.
Where it changes is where things escalate to a point where there are full knowledge of negative consequences, and yet a behavior is pursued anyways, right? And what happens is masturbation through pornography occasionally leads to different curiosities that bring guys to either prostitutes or massage parlors or back pages.
Okay.
Right? So there's an escalation there, knowing full well that the consequences are, I'm a married guy, and yet I'm still pursuing this behavior. So from the psychological community, it's actually listed through more of a compulsion than a true addiction, so it's not recognized by the DSM. But ultimately, I mean, Dr. Weiss, whose facility my practice is within, has been doing this for 35 years. They made a movie about his practice back in the 80s. But ultimately, I mean, over and over again, we're seeing dynamics where guys are trying to get away from this. They're trying to get away from their sexual behavior outside of their marriages or just by themselves as single guys, and yet constantly their brain is calling them back to the drug hit that they're getting from masturbation.
So but if a guy loves having sex with his wife and they love having sex,
yes,
that's not an addiction. That's just having sex, right? I mean, where does it become an addiction? That's what the part.
He basically said when it becomes a problem and it interferes with your life.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah, pretty much. Once the negative consequences that are right in front of you are stepped over and you pursue that behavior, knowing full well what the negative consequences are, is really the earmark of any addiction.
Does sex addiction lead to infidelity?
In many cases, yes. Now, I teach in some cases from a pastoral perspective, so anything that
of course,
outside works in that realm.
But in the diagnostic realm,
yes. So not necessarily. A lot of guys that are porn guys will be porn guys for a long time until they actually decide to get well. However, there is a school of those guys where the drug hit that they're getting from the pornography is not enough. And either through a curiosity or an opportunity, they will step across that line with another woman, with a prostitute, with a massage parlor. And at that point, yes, it will and can escalate to those points.
Okay, and you say it's not the same thing, masturbation to sex, with a committed partner, but have you found people, young people, who when they get married, it kind of takes care of itself because now they do have love and it does change things?
So sometimes yes, sometimes it's kind of the lie of it is like, oh, okay, I'm married to this woman and that's going to fix this. And what happens is usually we see within about a 2 to 3 year period, depending on what the stress is, whether or not her body changes or some different dynamics within the relationship, that it can creep back in if there's been really no addressing it from a clinical level.
Is it mostly a male problem?
It is. I will say this. We're probably 8 guys to every 2 girls, female sex addicts that come through.
And because I heard men are very visual and stimulated, where women want more of a commitment and more of that feeling of love. Is that true, or is that a myth?
It is, and I think that
it is true.
It is true because there is a fantasy component that women attach themselves to in being emotional creatures, whereas men have more of an object relationship where they can turn this switch off, get what they need, and they may say some things in the realm of that may sound emotional, but most of the time it's just to keep that partner on the hook.
Okay, so Matthew, just so we don't have a bunch of people saying, "Oh my God, I'm sick." Hold on, what are the signs of an addiction versus, or this compulsion versus, normal curiosity, behavior, and desire?
Okay, so when somebody stops pursuing their wife sexually, but their masturbation and porn viewing at home steps up. Okay. If they find themselves continually working through a place where every woman that is in front of them becomes an object, a sexual object, dressing women, lusting after women. When they find themselves making a decision, should I call this prostitute? Should I start texting this person? And at the same time, if they're really stepping out of the commitment and the connected, intimate place that they have with their spouse, and they start feeding a sexual desire with other things outside of that person.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Matt.
Remember, side note, you just made me think that actor Pee Wee Herman got busted publicly masturbating. That's got to be a sign.
Yeah, because he didn't consider the risks. It's high-risk behavior with all addiction. Matthew Pichulo, thank you very much. And it's he's with Mountain Hope Counseling. 303-713-TALK is our number if you have any comments. We have more coming right up. This is a very important show where we're going to follow up with something very, very important on some of the cases we've been following. And meanwhile, something important to you, David Salisbury can do a will for you starting at around $600. It's really important, if you have anything to leave behind, that you don't leave it up for grabs and for guessing. He can tell you some of the pitfalls of wills and how they're written. And also, if you have a trust and you want things to pass seamlessly without probate, trusts are a way to do it. He also can help you with beneficiaries' deeds. Whatever you need, David Salisbury can help you when it comes to what I call inevitable law, when it comes to wills, trusts, probate, estates, estate planning. David Salisbury you can find on my referral list at referralist.com, or 720-493-3911. 720-493-3911.
Put up. Damn it! I wish I thought of that.
This whole week.
When he said they made a movie about their partner made a movie. They made a movie. I said I was going to say, does a Star Story Daniels?
This whole week has been like this.
One because of that call.
Yeah, well, that's true. That keeps dragging back to that. Because we've had a lot of weird.
I think I'll sell these tickets.
Clint was saying that the reason the Pueblo PD they had to turn that in, because they were passing around watching it. I'm kidding, John.
Okay. I mean, what's happening? We don't know where it's at. But, 6 months is a long time to be investigating anything.
Has it been 6 months?
It's been like 6 months.
Oh, that's crazy.
That and syphilis that they were talking about. That causes the blood center in the brain.
Yeah.
Tom was talking about creating a machine that compounds things, like a vending machine. That could be on the top of the list to hit a pleasure center.
It's the civil case and the criminal case you have to worry about. He can handle both with you and help you through the system. Joseph A. Lazzara. LazzaraLegal.com. That's Lazzara. LazzaraLegal.com. Also on my referral list at referralist.com. He'll always do initial consultations.
There's so many things I don't do. The guy with the title problem, it's not even a title problem.
Oh, that's the one that caller?
Yeah.
What's the motorhome?
Brian Williams, the motor, yeah.
The one that I said to nut? Was he a nut? Tell us. Was my nut detection on?
2004
motorhome
total.
Yeah, but no, Carfax, they changed the Carfax, so they boogered it up and blah, blah.
But he's calling about that, and his wife has a $48,000 medical bill from an injury from the brakes
going out of the motorhome. So he's just pissed that it's a bad motorhome.
Well, he's trying. I don't even know where to go with it.
Give it to Dan.
Yeah.
You'll just make him cry, Clint.
No more making people cry.
Could be.
What should we do about that?
I ain't read a word in the letters.
He's made 3 more people cry since you've been gone.
So he's not come back. He said he wants to come back on.
This guy's eye looked perfect before he left, and Clint got up.
Roughed him up a bit.
Roughed him up.
I didn't understand what the house ones meant. Are those the
No
regular
longer
shows?
selling toilets. She's full of crap.
I
didn't mean it like that.
I saw him yesterday. I was just in there yesterday.
They have toilets. Do you know what I'm saying?
They still didn't have
They
one in
get
Bone.
it under. Maybe I can call. Maybe it's their house shows like Wicked.
Well, I'm looking for a
Fiddler on the Roof and bullshit like that.
I don't know. I'm looking for one in Bone. I showed that.
Toilets are super cheap, even at Home Depot.
But I sent you my list.
You get them at Costco for under $100.
Not Bone.
What's it cost me?
In white, yeah, but that bone color, it makes them like 3 times the price for some reason. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
I should have picked that stupid one they had, that real low one. The bar goes back in the.
The real low, yeah.
She paid a bunch of money for that European toilet. The crapper's crap.
Say what would you think the plumber's going to charge for toilet, including the toilet, not a real fancy toilet?
Like a Kohler, standard Kohler.
Installation and the toilet?
Yeah.
$500.
Okay, 800 at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the.
We'll get people bitching now.
I get.
They want $1,300.
I called 3 different people. It was between like 900 and.
Well, what happens
Now listen,
is the neighbor
but
comes
I had
over.
one when they start charging $6,000 for a toilet installation. Then you know you got a problem.
Yeah, but 6. I don't think we've had that.
No, Mark. I had a $6,000 toilet. In fact, to be honest, I think it was a $9,000 toilet. No, I'm not kidding.
The Toto.
You paid for it?
It wasn't me. I'm talking about a complaint.
We had one heated seat and birth control.
No, it's ridiculous. They said, well, it needed a new wax ring.
They weren't. They were just standard faucets.
Made by Santa.
And they were hood ends. They were just in a double sink.
We had a
So just one mirror on there.
Yeah, and she installed gold-plated.
But she did agree to it.
I know, it's crazy. What do you say to when everything's written out? Listen, here's how much it's going to be. It's going to be $1,700. Here's exactly what we're going to do. Sign here and we'll get going.
People have
And
to
then they
take
sign.
And
then
people, I told her, I bet so.
And they tell their kid or their
Right.
spouse
That's exactly
or
what
the
happened.
neighbor.
That's exactly what I
And
told the kid.
they make it even worse.
Yeah.
What? I had a day. Did you like that? Could be at Home Depot. That's $4. Mostly my wife.
Hi, Tom Martino here. One Clear Choice Garage Doors will come out and inspect your garage door and tell you what's wrong with it, or give you just free inspection with hinge bolt tightening and safety adjustments and lubrications. Time permitting, when you mention Martino, they'll do it free, okay? Now, here's the deal. They want to be your garage door company in the future. If you ever have a problem, you won't ever do better than One Clear Choice Garage Doors. It's simply that simple. They are very, very good people, and they're efficient, and they have great products, and they have garage door openers starting at just $333. 303-565-6409. 565-6409, oneclearchoicedoors.com. Welcome to the show. Let's go to Corey. Corey has a problem with a car purchase. What's going on, Corey?
Hi, Tom.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hello?
Yes, what's happening with you?
Hi. I recently bought a car in California when I was in the Marine Corps, and it was off Craigslist from a private dealer.
And were you based in California, or were you passing through, or what?
I was stationed in California.
Okay, so what happened?
I bought it from this guy. I bought cash. I didn't get a bill of sale or anything. I really didn't know exactly how to buy a car. It was my first car. And he signed the title over to me. So he signed all the parts that it was supposed to sign a title over to me. However, he technically didn't even really have the right to, because his name wasn't on the title as the registered owner.
And you didn't know that?
And I didn't. I thought that he was the power of attorney for the woman on the title, which was Brennick, or
yeah.
I don't know if I should say her name.
It doesn't matter. But anyway, did he steal the car?
I hope not, and I don't think so, because I think if he did, I'd probably be in jail right now. But
what do you mean in jail? You went to go title this, and what did they say?
I went to the DMV, and they said that I would either need the woman whose name is on the title to get a duplicate title and mail it to me,
or do a POA and backdate it.
Yes.
All right. So what does
the
this?
Other option?
Yeah, the other option
was a bond, which I have in front of me. It's a bunch of papers that I have to go all over the place. And
Listen, Corey, the guy that sold it to you, what's his first name?
I assume it's Jose.
Did you talk to Jose since this happened?
I asked him one time over text what kind of gas it took, and he told me premium, and I've never spoken to him since.
So you didn't tell him about this?
I tried to. I told him at first I thought it was a little sketchy, and he said that I'll sign over whatever you need me to, and then I haven't heard from him since. So.
Okay. Well, we need to contact him. The easiest way is to get a POA backdated from this woman, and she has to notarize it.
Okay.
I mean, unless the guy is a crook and it truly is stolen, I mean, you might want to have us have you run the VIN number?
I have. I did a Carfax on it, and everything checks out on it. It's not really stolen.
And it shows that she was the last owner, right?
It showed that, yeah, she was the registered owner.
Why didn't you just... Okay, but I don't understand. Why didn't we just tell Jose, you can't sign the title. You're not an owner. I mean, this is the first thing we have to do, and we will do it. Okay, so hold on. That's the very first thing we need to do, is just get Jose to cooperate if we can. Or something's very, very wrong. What's happening with you, Janet?
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Janet. Sorry for the wait. International Scouts are some of my favorite vehicles.
Yeah, well, I have this 71 International Scout, and I've been trying to sell it. I went through Vehicle Selling Solutions to...
I've never heard of them, but I'd imagine there are a million different services. So
yeah,
what's the problem?
In essence, all they do is just put it on eBay. Well, it's been on there for about a year and a half, and out of the blue, yesterday morning, I got a call from a gentleman in Texas.
Scam.
And
Go ahead.
He said he's been looking for one for his wife, and
yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And he says...
What's the pitch? Give me the pitch. What is it?
Okay, well... First thing, he says, I want to buy it. And I said, that's great. And he said, will you take $1,000 less because I have to transport it? I said, fine. So then...
that doesn't sound like a scam.
No,
Go ahead.
I'll wire you the money. Give me your bank routing number. I'll take a cashier's check. So
by the way, if you ever have to give out your account and your ACH, if you ever have to,
What's
just
that?
I'm telling people that if ever you need to give out wiring instructions, those same instructions can be used to draw any amount of money they want out of your bank with absolutely no problem. Banks do not require anything signed. In fact, you can rob a bank tomorrow. You just get the routing number, the account number, you can make a draw, take the money, and then it's up to the person who was robbed to fight with the bank to get it back. And I'm telling you, it's the one loophole.
Just open a new account for these weird transactions.
So what I was going to say is you open up an account specifically for this transaction and you put the minimum amount in and do it like that. But anyway, you can continue your story. That was a sidebar just to help people. Go ahead. What's going on?
That was the first red flag. So then I said, send me a cashier's check, and he said, fine. So then he sent me a picture. He texted me a picture of the cashier's check.
Yeah, cashier's checks are not good to take ever.
Really?
Never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever. What happened?
Well, he said it's coming in the mail, and he said I'll send you the cashier's check and a Texas transfer form, and you sign the title.
And did he tell you that you can wait for the check to clear?
He didn't say that, but I would do that.
Yeah, but how long would you wait, Janet?
I would wait 48 hours.
Guess what? That's not long enough. Now
really?
Say again, how long would you wait? How long would you wait, Clint? 2 weeks? Still not enough time. Do you want to know why?
Yes.
Janet, they can make a cashier's check and put an off number on it that will go into a dead file for investigation that can take 6 months to find out it's fake. Okay. I'm telling you that cashier's checks have come and gone. Today's technology have made them completely wrong because you can duplicate them.
Unless you can go to that bank where it was issued and convert it to cash.
That day, that bank, yes. You never, ever, ever accept a cashier's check. They're too easy to fake, and people think if they hold it a week, it's going to be cleared. It's not. Here's what's it's called. It's called some kind of what's the name? Something kind of credit. It's temporary credit and provisional credit. And when they give you provisional credit, that provisional credit is just that. The banking laws make them give you provisional credit within 3 days. People think it's cleared. It has not cleared. Hold on, we'll come back and tell you specifically. I hope you didn't make mistakes, and we'll talk about it.
DOA.
There's a ton of local Facebookers. Get rid of that scout.
Well, a year and a half. My God, she must be asking too much for it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she can get rid of it on Blinker.com. Blinker.com is
too old.
Huh?
Can't put it on Blinker. Can only be 20 years old.
Oh, really? Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, maybe 25, but it's either 20 or 25.
Oh, cool.
I might even be wrong. Maybe it's 15.
So on that car, if you can't get a POA or he can't get that corrected, you can always do a title bond.
Yes, they're pretty pricey.
1%.
Yeah, he just said that. He just said a bond, but bonds are. If it turns out not to be bondable, you lost it.
Right.
You still lost the car.
Still lost it.
So he paid for something he never got. Right. So it helps.
You guys write any of those? Sister does a lot. That's a lot of insurance. Yes. She writes a lot of stuff. All insurance agents. She's down in the first month's court. That's a bad neighborhood.
We used to do a lot of people were forgetting.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I know.
We actually had a really good one for a repair shop. That people were coming in to work on the car. So he was just happy. So he was good money. He was a great client. We do all.
Yeah, those are good ones for bonds.
And actually, someone came in Denver doesn't keep titles for everything. So we would get like airport equipment the companies and stuff. They transferred to another department, so they had to do a title bond. But nobody wanted the titles.
We've actually got two.
So they had $800 bond and over 2 months.
They've got all this intergovernmental stuff. No one has those when we were trying to, the old standing town, we could buy the captain for that airport. The government wants to buy, I don't understand how it works. How they buy, they transfer stuff for $1. Is that just some intergovernmental?
I think it just has to probably just so it shows up.
Yeah, and I know exactly that problem because there wasn't much involved, but we saw the paperwork or anything following back and forth.
for help.
So, we got the whole Broadway plans. And actually, it's not bad because each ticket's only $68.
What are you talking about?
Broadway, what do you mean?
We got the whole, for the Buell Theater, not just the Buell.
Oh, the season?
We got the season passes for every Broadway play, or off-Broadway, whatever it's called when it's out here. And I just started thinking, okay, what is it per ticket? It was actually way better per ticket than I thought. It's not a bad deal. But you got to buy every show.
Right.
But there's no way, like, on School of Rock and some of these other bigger ones, because our seats are so good, I know I could triple up on those tickets day of the show. So I'll send Clint down there to be my scalper.
Okay.
Because Scott's Sweet Grip technology has
That's Jose's the backyard field. You only got people out there. You only get the title there. So, yeah, you only get the,
I think for
you get the title value, you just transfer it straight across to the next person.
I don't know about that. How does Stump out and all these people sell Broncos tickets for $3? Maybe there is rules, but it's never, no one ever does it. I mean, I've never gone anywhere where people, right in front of the Pepsi Center, there's a million people selling tickets.
Where did you leave it with Corey in the car purchase? What's on the phone?
We need to have Deputy Clint. You're going to help Corey, the veteran.
Can we get his number for you?
Yes.
Okay.
You got to help him get that guy.
Don't make him cry.
Oh, no, he's a Marine. He ain't gonna cry.
No, but talk to him as soon as possible.
Okay. Did you get?
Do you have any other follow-ups we need?
They're all stupid stuff.
Well, do you have anything that actually?
Well, you'd be surprised what people want. Hey, whatever happened to that?
Yeah, I mean, did it get solved or anything?
Well, the mold thing in Flagler doesn't look like it's mold.
That's a good one.
Yeah, let's talk about
We
that
always
one,
talk
too.
about how mold's never killing you. That's
We
the
should
guy.
get the woman back on.
That was the one that had cancer and stuff, right?
No, he has liver failure.
Liver failure. So he got canceled from the liver list because he's drinking and smoking.
Yeah, let's get her
He
back
goes
on.
into the hospital and he's blaming it all on mold. It's
Right.
kind of bizarro.
Would you ask her to get it?
Yeah.
Let's get the mold woman back on. We can follow it up.
If nothing would make you quit drinking, Jesus, you would think needing a liver, right?
Hi, Tom Martino here. Centeno Schultz. It's the only place that I endorse for true living stem cell treatment because they're one of the few clinics that do true living stem cell treatments. Do not go to chiropractors who use amniotic fluid, especially Stem Cell Institute of America, who advertises stem cells, and they do not use stem cells. And you know why I can say that on the open? Because I challenge them to challenge me, and we'll test it. Okay? It's just that easy. So I just can't tell you how many people around the country are being ripped off by fake stem cell providers. And what I'd like you to do is get a consultant, get a consultation with a real doctor, real MDs. Centeno Schultz, also known as Regenex. Now, Centeno Schultz had the original Regenex, and then they franchised it. But they are doctors, so most of the time, you're not a candidate for stem cell. That's how honest they are, and they'll tell you about it. But there are other treatments available, just as cost-effective. There are PRP and other things. So please, call Centeno Schultz, the real deal. They were the first ones in the country doing this. They have patients from around the world. They just happen to be located right here in Broomfield. They're opening in Lone Tree very soon. 303-963-9201. 303-963-9201. Okay, Janet, what's happening? Janet, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, there. Let's continue. Now, with your International Scout sale, you were asking about this guy from Texas that called, and he wanted to offer you, he wanted to wire the money. You didn't want that to happen because you didn't want to give out your bank account information. That's what you should have done. Open up a special account. Don't put any money in it, just the minimum, and have him wire to it, because then if he wanted to steal from you, there's nothing to take. Okay. Or what you do is, but never take a cashier's check. And you did not agree to that, right? A cashier's check?
Well, I said I'll take a cashier's check, and so he said he would send me one.
Okay, don't take it. I mean, you got to call him and say you changed your mind, because a cashier's check can be faked. There's no way you can know it. You know, do you know, even if you call and you say, well, I got a guy here, his name is so-and-so, and he has and he's drawing on your bank this much money, does he have that much in the bank? Even if you want to ask about it, they can tell you if there's enough to clear a check, and they can say yes, right? They can say yes. Now, Are you covered? No. And I'll tell you why. Because the guy standing in front of you might not be that guy. He just is drawing a check on that guy's account. We actually had that happen where a guy who said, call my bank. Just tell him I'm here, and they'll verify the funds. And they did, but he wasn't the guy. How would they ever know? How would the teller or the person at that side know that the guy presenting the check is not the guy? They have thousands of customers. It's just weird. There's no way to take a check of any kind, period. It's just no way. And when did he say he would send it?
It's supposed to be here today by 3 p.m.
Okay. Now, there is one way you can do that, and that is if you take that check and you go to the bank and have it cashed, and then take the cash.
You could also, it's going to take a long time, though, you send that money order to the issuing bank.
You mean the cashier's check? The
cashier's check. Then the bank issues a new one coming back, but it's going to take weeks and weeks.
Right. When does he want to get the car?
Well, he said, you know, for me to send the title to him, and then he'll have it transported. He didn't tell me how soon. He said even he and his wife may come up and, you know, load it up.
You know, it might turn out that this guy's legit. One of the reasons I say that is because he tried to negotiate with you right off the top to get it down in price, and then some other things he wanted to ACH. And
yeah, but he could be really good.
Yeah, I know. But in any case, I would go back to the ACH, open up an account just for him.
And the fact she's calling something, the back of her neck went up.
And once the money...
Yeah, I just had a red flag when he said, you know, give me your bank, your routing number.
Janet, once that's done, the special account for wiring, then what you do is you have that account and you close it again. But there's... it's just never take a check. How about that? Ideal Home Loans for your next ideal home loan with credit optimization in order to get even better rates. They also
have to pick your term loan. You may not want to go back to 30 years. Pick whatever term you want. If you refinance...
Do you guys do health insurance, Dan? No health, okay.
No, but I got some emails.
Lots of business stuff?
Yeah, I have emails on. I got an email or two on it. We can talk.
Personal commercial.
What's that?
Oh,
he's asking personally commercial.
Yes, personal.
Scalping is illegal in Denver city limits. Also selling to a broker to scalp is illegal.
And how would you know if you're selling to scalp?
What do you say?
Well, over face value. If it's over face value.
There's never been any time I've gone to the Pepsi Center without 50 people.
I know. But you know what sometimes they do is they say, okay, buy this card, and then they'll give you a free ticket with it. Or they're paid over that. Really? So, yeah, so you like a baseball card. Here, buy this baseball card for $100 and I'll give you this free ticket.
I'll be right back. I just want to go down.
That's one way to get out of it.
That's crazy.
Crazy! It's crazy
It's
stuff.
like selling software online. You have to sell hardware or something. You have to sell like a flash card.
Oh, really?
With the software license.
I tell you what, Kurt, the whole transferring money.
I used to work for First Data, which owned Western Union, and we had a big official check division I worked in. We get calls all the time. Some guy just left with my $60,000 truck, and it's a bad check. They're like, it's an official check. It says official on it, so you got to pay me.
Well, that's why I don't like to send checks anywhere. Because you got your account number and your router number on there and stuff. So, I mean, they got stuff that you could.
Yeah, except for that's regulated to some degree, so you can't.
I've heard people painting checks. They call it that, painting checks.
Oh, you mean duplicated? Yeah.
Right. Do that, and then they take off the name on it, put their name on it, and amounts.
Years ago, before I got married, I had saved money for down payment on a house. I had a bunch of money in my account. And my girlfriend at the time, my wife, we went to Miami for a weekend. And I mean, the second we were off the plane, somebody pulled all that, and they actually had printed cards and were in Vegas going around buying stuff. Got home and like $20,000 was gone. Called the bank, put it all right back in.
They did?
Yeah, and then I got a call from a leather store in Caesar's Palace, chewing me out for backing out of my deal on the $8,000 coat I bought. Yeah, good luck with that. Like, you got to prove I was there, buddy.
So they made credit cards? Is that what they did?
Yeah, they
or
made,
like a debit card?
Yeah, because they made a debit card.
Okay, they made it?
Yeah, they made physical cards.
How did they make it with a stripe or that was before the stripe?
They got little machines that, yeah. I mean, nowadays, I don't even think they, I think they just go online and go on out there. My sister was at Chili's, purse hanging off the back of the, this is like a week ago, purse hanging off the back of the seat. Someone grabbed it. By the time she got home that night and figured it out, she had called her credit card company to cancel it, and they'd made 2 consecutive purchases at Target for like $998. Like they knew exactly where the trip would be before it would escalate another level of scrutiny.
So $1,000 is the
must be the level.
We had a poor guy, man. He got suckered into going down to Walgreens and buying $2,000 or $4,000 worth of iTunes cards, and then give the info out to this guy who said his grandson was in jail or something and had to get out. It just, you go, God, man, how would you possibly think? Or same with the IRS ones. How in your right mind would you think that you pay the IRS or a jail or a county with iTunes? But they, God, they're so good, they convince these people of it.
I had a new administrative assistant I started a few years ago, and very first call that she got was some guy who barely speak English saying that I owe taxes and they're going to come arrest everybody if I do. I'm like, she's all freaked out. She's like, "Are you having tax issues?"
Oh, she
ignored the call. Well, yeah, she didn't. I mean, she wasn't that savvy, and she thought it was real. I'm like, no.
To clean and refurbish your AC. Fix it 24/7. They'll get into your system and practically disassemble it to get to the dirt, debris, and corrosion, which is the #1 killer on all.
There's this Deputy Les from Colorado Springs says, "Hi guys, they would have crucified that woman from Pueblo here in the Springs."
Oh yeah.
Oh, they would have went after it.
What kind of sicko does that? It's just. She's got some pretty major issues.
Oh, you want to see that video? I'll put that her video up here. Yeah. So here she is. Come here over here. She put.
Visa card by mail on qualifying purchases over $250. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
You can get nuts.
Well, there's plenty of that out there for everybody. I had a woman call in her 70s, divorcing her husband, wanted us to cancel all his policies. You don't do that.
Boy, that would be a weird request.
Yeah, they're just trying to hurt the other person. Sure.
Yeah, but wow.
I'm not going down that hole with you. Thanks for calling.
Nice rabbit hole, yeah.
She says, "Well, you're the beneficiary of his life insurance. It is now canceled."
Well, she might take her card canceled. It's on.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you being
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show this hour, brought to you by Ideal Home Loans. For your next Ideal Home Loan, listen, we have a lot happening here. We're talking about how to sell a car without getting ripped off online. We also have some guests in the house. We even got the guy that was hit in the eye with a foul ball at Rockies, and we talked about his situation. And we have a fun show today. This is going to be a fun hour. All you have to do is call. If you need help, information, referrals, you call us right now and get right through, because we have completely open lines, which I love. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. And we also have the mailbag we'll dip into if you don't call. But we have so many things that we can share with you. We've recovered millions of dollars in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services for people. We have. And we have experts that help us out. One of them is Brent Ivinson from Ideal Home Loans. You know, right now, rates have dropped to the lowest level. And the good news is, even if they drop further and you already closed your loan with Ideal, whether it's a refi or a purchase, you know what can happen? You got the interest rate guarantee. What's going on, Brent?
Well, Tom, this was a drop we did not expect to see. So, it's the first time rates have
dropped all year.
Why
do you think it happened? Why?
Well, there's a lot of things going on. You got some geopolitical things going on over in Italy. You've got some softer numbers coming out here. So this is likely going to be a very short-lived window of opportunity with this latest drop in rates. So for anybody looking at buying or refinancing, take advantage of them before they go back up, because we will likely see them correct back higher in the coming weeks.
How much did they drop? How much?
We saw things drop 0.25%.
Wow.
So we're back at 4.5% instead of 4 3/4. So great news for consumers.
So again, the interest rate guarantee applies, and then you got the 3-week close, and you also have pre-approvals, of course, Brent, for those who, of course, want to be like a cash deal. 303-867-7000, 867-7000, or idealhomeloans.com. And there's no one better than Frank Durand, the real estate man, when you need someone to use that money to buy a house. Frank, he can negotiate for you when you're buying like you won't believe. Now, of course, he sells those homes too. So if you're selling and buying, he'll even give you a break on commission if you do a package deal with him. Mark has worked with him personally. Frank Durand, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Okay, so what do you think? Have you ever sold a car long distance? What do you do to accept payment? What do you do? Well, don't ever take a check of any kind, not even a cashier's check, unless you can cash that check at the bank and get the cash, because cashier's checks are too easy to fake. And if you have any questions on that, ask me specifics. I won't recap the whole thing. We also have the sex offender, the woman in Pueblo who went into her stepdaughter's bedroom 2 o'clock in the morning and videotaped her daughter masturbating and then showed this video to people. It's a crime just to tape or videotape or take a photo of any child under the age of 15 doing anything like that, let alone the intent. Her intent, she wanted to build a case against the girl. She doesn't like her. It's her stepdaughter. And the husband now, the biological father of the girl, is divorcing the mom. He called the police. So Pueblo Sheriff's Department comes, confiscates the phone. They have the evidence, but nothing has been done. In fact, for those who say, well, this could take time, Tom, we're talking about video on the phone, and we're talking about a woman who's not denying it, and nothing happened to her, and we called the DA, and they say they can't find the case. Can't find it. Well, I know it was around here somewhere. Really? But this is not the first time this has happened with Pueblo. I'm not going to go over it. Listen to the podcast. They're idiots. They're dummies. They're morons. They're lackadaisical, lazy. The worst excuse for law enforcement you can find. No, I do not respect them. I do not. If you are under the jurisdiction of Pueblo Police or Pueblo Sheriff's Department, most likely you can commit a sex crime or assault or violence and get away with it. However, this email is very funny. Tom, I'm a truck driver in Pueblo. And listen to this. You want to talk about Pueblo Police? Now, I'm mixing police and sheriff, and they're separate agencies. But this is the Sheriff Department. Listen to this. They sent a deputy out for 8 hours on an intersection in the middle of nowhere to nab trucks hauling rock and stuff who did not come to a complete stop at the stop sign. Now, this is where you can see for miles and miles in every direction. And they went out there because they didn't want the trucks coming to a rolling little stop real slow and then take off. Because with those big trucks, they try to stay in second or third gear instead of stopping completely, going in first. But here's the deal. They sent out someone on the county road for 8 hours. Yet, we have audio tape of girls in a dorm room in Pueblo with a guy screaming at the door to break in, and they are huddled together in fear with the police on the phone, and the police never come. Or eventually, no, there were a few times they never came because this happened before. This guy was dangerous, and the time they did come, I believe it was an hour later. This is Pueblo Police. And then Pueblo Sheriff's Department sends a deputy out here for 8 hours, but won't do anything about a sex offender who videotaped her stepdaughter masturbating. We've had many other cases involving Pueblo, and as I said, if they're going to do an enema to Colorado, they're putting it right there in Pueblo. It's the most disgusting environment you can have for law enforcement and justice. Let's go to the phones, all right? Mike, you have a question on life insurance. We happen to have with us our guest today for a long-time referral list member, Insurance Group of Denver, Dan Mahoney. I don't know if he can answer this. You guys don't sell life, do you? You do sell life? Okay. Mike, what is your inheritance question on life insurance?
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
Listened to you for a long time.
Thank you,
and
man.
I know you guys have talked about this type of an issue, so it's twofold. One, my dad passed away last November. My mom had several life insurance policies that she has finally gotten the proceeds from.
Okay.
One is for $125K, another is over $200K. In my dad's will, it specifically spells out that money is to be divided between two of my siblings and myself.
Now, that's in the will.
That's correct.
Okay.
So my question is, my mom is coming on to, or we think, onset of Alzheimer's. Getting her tested. We're thinking about moving her to a memory care facility in Tucson.
Okay.
That's where she kind of lives and where she's from.
Okay.
If she were to go into a facility, is that money a jeopardy because it's set in a will? Do I have to worry about, hey, they just doled out $300,000 from life insurance proceeds?
Does what have to be put into a will?
Well, I'm saying the money that is in the will that's going to be divided between three of us kids.
Yeah. What about it?
Money that she needs to move into this memory care facility.
Yeah.
She literally doesn't have anything other than those life insurance policies.
Well, then she doesn't have anything. She just has to... is she getting public assistance?
Not right now, no.
But she will need it for this care facility.
Yeah, well, we're not sure.
Well, here's the deal. Let's just do in general. If you have an elderly person and they're moving into a facility and they are asking for Medicaid or Medicare or any kind of public assistance, not normal Medicare, but like Medicaid, and they want public assistance, they do a 5-year look back on her assets and money, meaning that if she disposed of assets over the last 5 years, they will claw it back or demand or count it against her. You, in theory, have to spend down all of your money in order to have public assistance, and that's the way it should be. I don't want to be supporting people who have hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I don't want them sneaking it to their kids either. So they have a 5-year look back. Now, here's the deal with a 5-year look back. You can spend that money last year. Even though there's a 5-year look back, they'll find it. But if you spend it legitimately on self-care, buying yourself stuff, you can do anything like that. You can buy all you want, clothes and all of that. But if you have too much equity in a car, too much equity in a home, or too much cash in the bank, it's going to count against you.
Sure.
It has nothing to do with life insurance.
Okay.
Now, I don't think they ask about cash value of a life insurance policy. I do not believe they can make you cash in. They can only do life insurance, I believe, if it was within the 5 years and it was a large cash investment.
Okay. I guess that was my biggest question, is the life insurance.
Well, what are they going to say to her? Die so you can pay for this? Well, how would that be considered money? It's not money.
Now,
okay.
This is from her dad. From his dad.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, the life insurance is from his dad.
Well,
that's correct.
Hold on.
So life insurance is...
I'm sorry. My God, I wish somebody would have told me that. Right? I know he mentioned it, but I thought it was like a dual policy on both, and he already cashed his in. It's called First to Die, but that's not what I was thinking. I was thinking it was just dual policy. So you're saying this is not life insurance on her. These proceeds have already been distributed.
Correct. So,
well, okay. Where's the money? Where's the money?
Well, we haven't received it yet. She's working on it with an attorney.
She's not allowed. She's not allowed to give you that money. If that money went to her, it's her money. If it went directly to you from him and she never saw it, but as a wife of a guy, if he did not have a will, then it's hers. If he did have a will, it's hers, because you're not allowed to disinherit your wife. So I don't see how, unless it was his separate funds totally, I mean separate premarital, blah, 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 in this case, I don't see how this woman can claim she has no money. How much are the proceeds?
About $300,000.
Okay, the $300,000 right now is in abeyance. It's payable. If she does not mention that, she's committing fraud. She has $300,000 coming to her. Wouldn't you say she has $300,000 coming to her, Dan?
Absolutely true. And if you were to use it and spend it, they're going to come back to you to
Yeah,
restore the funds.
that's exactly right, by the way. Heirs can be held responsible if they bypass the estate and defraud it, and defraud the people. So.
And that's, I guess that was my biggest question, Tom. Is
I'm so sorry that I gave you the wrong path in the beginning.
No, that's okay. You're having what I call a part-time moment. So
yeah, I had several of them today. Shut up, Mark. I know. I've had several today. But okay.
A junior, senior moment.
Yes.
So I guess the will spells out specifically that the money is to be divided between us three kids.
It doesn't matter. She's not dead.
Yeah.
I mean, do you understand? She's not dead. That doesn't. So the will says the money is to be left. What if she doesn't have the money? Then
it's his dad's will said that, right?
Correct.
Okay. The dad's will said that mom gets nothing, right?
Well, and she's got money from
Mike, does your dad's will say the mom gets nothing?
That's a good question. I don't know that.
Well, you said it said that the three kids get all the money. Did it say you get 100 and the other sister gets 100 and the other sister gets 100, or
Correct.
did it say they get life insurance proceeds? You keep saying correct, Mike. The wills are written very, very, very specifically. What does it say?
I do know the will specifically states that the life insurance proceeds were to go to us three siblings.
So it doesn't necessarily say 100 grand or 50 grand or 10 grand.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know exactly dollar amounts. That's
okay.
A question. So
next question. Here's the thing: he's not allowed. See, the law anticipates these kinds of games. Right. Now, I'm not saying your dad played a game on purpose, but they anticipate this. A man married to a woman is not allowed to disinherit her.
Correct.
So the money is presumed to be hers, even if the will says the kids get it. But you know what? I want to be absolutely sure on it. So we're going to talk. Oh, is David around at all?
He's not, Tom. I can line it up for tomorrow or Monday.
Well, it's either tomorrow or we get someone today, someone else, because maybe we get someone else, or we get him tomorrow, because this is too important to wait. I'm thinking I'm right on this. No matter how you look at it, she was the wife at the time. They weren't divorced, right?
Correct. They weren't divorced.
Okay, so they were married. The way I look at it, she's got 300 grand.
Right.
Now, she may have to put that away for you kids because the will says she can't touch it. But that doesn't mean the state can't touch it for her care. They say, I don't care about that will. This woman's sitting on 300 grand. She's not going to get nursing home care.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, we want to use what means we have to get her the proper care for this.
Is there a way she can wait for proper care for 5 years?
We don't know.
How old is she?
75.
Oh, my God. By today's standards, that would be the way to do it, is to disperse the money and wait.
Well, it's interesting. She came to Colorado.
Hold on, because I have to take this break. But you should disperse the money as soon as possible, no matter what. I mean, don't do it on my say-so like legal advice. I'm thinking if it was me and there was a 5-year look back, you want to do it as quickly as possible. Then, when she's 80, if she goes in, it doesn't matter who got the money. Simply Floors Inc. for your floors. SimplyFloorsInc.com. Remember that name, and you will save 20, 30, 40, up to 40%, even over the big boxes, the so-called mills and outlets, and you will love Buddy Mitchell and all of his designers that are supplied free of charge to integrate that flooring into your home, no matter what it is: waterproof carpeting, laminates, hardwoods, tile. They do it all at Simply Floors Inc. If you want to take a look at the products, you can go to 52nd Award Showroom, Simply Floors Inc., or they'll bring it with them when you get your appointment, and you book your own at simplyfloorsinc.com.
This report is brought to you by the Flood.
I'm so confused. Because at first he said the money was, she got the money, and then her will said it.
I think the insurance was written for her to get it, but his will said that he was.
She's the beneficiary.
Right. So the will said the kids were the
Keep
beneficiary.
doling it out to me like so I get more confused.
No. But what I'm saying is that and that is.
I know.
If the insurance says she's a beneficiary and the will says the kids get it, what happens?
The state is the one who's going broke. The state's going to look at it and say,
It doesn't matter for these purposes. You can't disinherit your wife. You are not allowed to.
Or if they're the beneficiary on the life insurance, so that life insurance company is going to make the check out to whoever's on there.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Period.
Now, hold on. If the life insurance policy is made out to them, then she is eligible for nursing home because it's not hers. That's a separate contract. That's not a game.
Assets, though? Are you moving assets by doing that?
No, you're not, because he did it, and he's dead, and he made a contract. If I make a contract that you are going to do something for him upon my demise, I mean, he can't come and say, it's not really his.
Right. So really, they have to be the beneficiary on the policy.
Yeah, you're the beneficiary.
The will, the will, it skips.
Just like the beneficiary deed. Right. It's done, baby.
The beneficiary doesn't care about the will.
So if she's the beneficiary,
you could be the beneficiary.
She's supposed to distribute. It doesn't matter.
And the state's not going to come after you.
You know how many times insurance companies said, I don't care if that will says you get the money. Right here it says your brother gets the money.
Right, exactly.
That's 888-503-1742. 888-503-1742.
But it should be that. I mean, really, if you think about it,
I've tried calling the old people back. He's back on the way to the hospital. She says, my phone's beeping. It's about to go out. Click.
You know what happens a lot? Someone will have their ex-wife or ex-husband listed on a insurance policy, get remarried, forget to ever change it.
Yeah. So think of this crazy chick. If she's listed as the beneficiary in that guy's life policy, he doesn't change it. He just gave her $200,000 for molesting his kid.
Right. There you go. Or I think she's a nut.
Well, we've hit a bunch of some huge nuts this last week.
What I'm saying is, everything I've had this week is
And today, Mark, the flow
really
not
hard.
is great because I
But I'd like
when I
that
stand
they're
time to
taking
close
him, here he is,
I was a
smoking
little
drinking,
over on a few of you
throwing him
noticed
out
maybe.
the
But I'm still trying to keep it.
donor program. Yeah.
And if you do that, you'll find it goes way better, man.
And then when he say, well, I know a lot of people are smoking and drinking and they still got theirs. Right.
I want to get them on. Now, it's going
A lot
to
of
be
people
hard
smoking and
to
drinking.
No,
I
I tried. I'm
just
calling
guy
her.
out
Said
because
her
he's
cell
late for
phone's
the
beeping.
liver.
They're on their way to the
Smoking and
hospital with
drinking.
him right
And
now.
he told Clint that I know a lot
And
of people.
she said my cell
that
phone
are
is beeping.
Oh, dude, they'll test you, man. They'll talk you. There's nobody that I've ever known of smoking and drinking on a liver wait list. No way, Jose.
You know what Clint told me?
You already ruined one. Why would they give you
hole in
another?
her neck that are smoking?
Hi, Tom Martino here. GoldenOrchard.com. If you remember that name, you'll love the fact that we were just talking about, nursing homes and stuff, assisted living. For one price gets you everything included. They don't nickel and dime you for special services. That's meals, snacks, outings, big, beautiful homes, spacious landscaped yards. These were built specifically to be assisted living, and they're cheaper than nursing homes, way, way better. 2 in Centennial, 1 in Wheat Ridge. Listen, vacancies are very rare, but unfortunately, when I say this, they know when they're going to have some vacancies coming up, because old Martha there might be on her last leg, or George is kind of like, making a date with the embalmer. I hate to put it that way, but in any case, if you are looking for a wonderful facility for a loved one or for yourself, assisted living here, 303-795-0784. Better yet, just go to the website, where one reasonable rent between $4,000 and $5,000 includes everything. They're beautiful. GoldenOrchard.com. Was I a little crude? I'm sorry.
Wow.
I didn't mean to be crude. I'm usually known for my finesse.
Oh yeah.
That wasn't finesseful.
It was very straight to the point.
Anyway, old George though, what if there were really people there named Old George and Martha, and I just said that? I could be in trouble.
I'm sure they're very happy with you.
303-713-8255. I have the utmost respect for the elderly. I mean, after all, aren't I technically in that class? I'm a senior citizen, so you treat me accordingly, sir. Marvin, what's happening with you? Marvin?
Hey, Tom.
Hey, man.
Good deal.
What's happening?
So I have a house, and I'm thinking about renting a room out.
Yes.
Now, this person does not have a driver's license or an ID. How can I protect myself from them?
First of all, how did you find the person?
Rent to someone that does.
Yeah,
would be number one.
It won't be hard to find someone to rent to. Mark does have a good point, but I want to ask, how did you find this guy?
You know, that is a good point. I put it on Craigslist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the worst place, but I guess, wait.
Is he going to pay you in rubles?
No, I don't actually know where I would go. Where would you go if you wanted to rent out a room? You know, you don't go to classifieds anymore with a newspaper. Where do you go? I mean, I guess Craigslist.
Facebook Marketplace is a good one.
Oh, that's a good one. You're right. Facebook's good. But in any case, this guy, this is very suspect. No driver's license and no ID. Why? Did you ask why?
You know, I believe he got into trouble drinking and driving.
Yeah, forget it. Just forget it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, you will not have a problem renting out a room. Here's what I want you to do on every one of them. Do a check on them. Please, a criminal background check.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can find people to do it for you. Yes, what were you going to say there?
Yeah, also on this,
This is Dan. This is Dan from Insurance Group of Denver. He's a very experienced businessman.
I would make sure you contact your current insurance agent or broker and confirm that there is coverage if you have people renting out rooms in your...
Oh, are you telling me that your policy could exclude it?
Your policy could exclude that.
What a
any
good
extras that they have, and they could also put you in...
Like if they burn down the house and they find out it was someone renting a room, he could be so screwed.
Essentially, you're engaging in a commercial enterprise.
But it's not going to raise it a lot, is it? Renting out a room? Come on.
It depends on the basis of what you're doing and what the company will expect.
Get out of town.
So some companies will not even allow you to do it.
That is
I didn't think about that. Yeah, I'm glad I did talk to you for a minute.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, what kind of room is this? Is this a big room with a bathroom and stuff?
Yes, it has its own bathroom, and, you know, it's basically self-contained, but it would be in a single-family residence.
What are you asking for it?
$650, reasonable.
Man, that is very reasonable. Are they allowed to like use the living room to watch TV, or do you want them to stay in the room?
Right. No, the kitchen would be, you know, the only
you can make things off limits. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So
okay.
The living room would be off limits. Yeah.
Okay. So they can use the kitchen, and then they can use. They have their bathroom, which is self-contained. What were you going to say, Deputy?
If you went through Airbnb, they would pre-qualify the people going in there.
Does Airbnb do long-term rentals of rooms?
They do about everything, yeah.
You know what? That's a good point, too. That's a great point.
I will check that. I will go to Airbnb.
And Suzanne, keep this in mind for Mark when you get pissed off at him.
When I kick him out?
There are some rooms. Well, you got the motorhome now. See?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, he can just run out there. Okay, so listen, man. You call us with any questions, because, no, don't do this. There's no reason to. Not when you can get someone... I mean, you can get so many people that will take a room like that. Just the other day, we had a guy looking for a room, guys. Remember? We had someone looking for a room. So if anyone wants a room, you know, and you want to contact us live at Troubleshooter.com, we'll screen somebody for you, Marvin. We're not going to guarantee it, but we'd screen somebody. It wouldn't be. It doesn't cost that much, does it, Mark, to screen someone for him?
Yeah, not too much.
We always say we're going to get directly involved, but Marvin, we'd never guarantee anything, you know. Live at Troubleshooter.com. We also are selling that truck. How are we coming on the recipient of that truck? People are asking. I think a good day to do that would be Car Day. This woman called up with a like $8,000 or $9,000 truck, four-wheel drive, king cab, a Colorado pickup truck, meaning literally it's called the Colorado. It's a small version of GMC. Or GMC's version of it, and it's a wonderful little vehicle. And this woman says, I want to help someone, so I only want $1,500 for it. That is such an incredible deal. It's not even a steal. It's robbery. And so what are we going to do about that? We were going to pick somebody that really needs some help. Now, obviously, it's not for someone destitute, because you've got to be able to insure it and put it on the road properly. We're not going to let it just go out, you know. So what do we have going on?
So, Tom, what happened is we thought she would want to go through the emails and pick somebody or pick a few candidates, but she wants us to.
Oh.
So Daphne's working on that, and I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or next Friday that we announce
and this
it,
will
Tom,
not be
realistically.
No back doors, meaning we don't, yeah, hey, my friend.
I think Dan's getting it.
Yeah.
Remember that screaming deal we had one time with Alaramas?
Deputy Dan went out and called him.
It was going to start on Friday.
Well,
he calls him on Thursday.
He calls. But I don't mind screaming deals, Dan, stuff like that, taking advantage. But no one is getting this truck that we know or related to whatsoever. All right. Kenny didn't get paid. Kenny.
Hi, how you doing?
Who didn't pay you, man? Who didn't pay you?
Well, I have a small roofing company down here in Colorado Springs, and I did this gentleman's roof back in like 1981, and I did it again in the hail in 98, and then I just did it last September. Well, I sent in a bill to the insurance, and they were supposed to give him the second check, and then he passed away like 3 days after I did the roof.
Okay.
So the family said, we'll take care of you, we'll take care of you.
Well, they have to. So hold on. You, I hope they didn't dispose of the house. If they did, you're screwed. Did they dispose of the house?
No, they have the house still, but...
Put a lien on it. You got to put a lien on it, man, immediately.
It's too late.
Why? 4 months, right?
Yeah, it's back in September. But they all came to me and said...
You can go to small claims court.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. But I did get my bill into the probate before the deadline.
Oh,
and
good.
So what I'm asking is the probate date, the last day was 24th of May. So I'm wondering how long does it take them to settle up with everybody if they're going to give you...
It can take 6 months.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Let's talk to David Salisbury. Hold on. Let's talk to David Salisbury. Hang on, man. We are going to get him, and I'll go back and ask about that previous question as well, because he does this kind of law. Lynette has a tip on finding a good roommate. Lynette, please, Lynette, hang on. I want to come back to you, okay, dear? Can you hang on?
Okay.
All right. She's going to have a tip on finding a roommate. I'd love to hear that one. I'm Tom Martino, and you're listening to the Troubleshooter Show.
This is Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW and iHeartRadio.
Wow, Dan, that was good. As far as for some insurance policy.
I thought of Airbnb, but I thought it was only, I was silently thinking, but I thought they were only for 1 night or 2 nights. I didn't know they do long-term rentals.
Well, just your insurance wouldn't cover you. If you
Dan's right. I bet Clint had a good idea, too, though.
So ISO standard is if you make more than $2,000 or occupied more than 31 days, it's no longer valid on your own policy.
More than $2,000.
$2,000 for 31 days.
Now, so that might be some Airbnb stuff.
What are you talking about? Say that
So
again.
ISO standard, if you're renting out your space or rooms in your space, if it's more than $2,000 or more than 31 days, you're violating the basis of your policy.
Okay.
How about if you rent your kid?
You need to make sure that, well, if your
that's like
family...
room and board.
I don't know. I'm serious.
Yeah, no, if it's familial, there's really no rules.
There's nothing they can do.
So
as if I
it
adopt
could even be your
my
brother.
renter.
It could be your brother.
Good.
Adopt a renter. Then what?
Quite the enterprise.
People don't think outside of the box like I do.
Like you do. That's right.
It costs you more to adopt.
We've had people on Airbnb want to rent the cabin for the season.
I don't think you can do that. I don't think Airbnb does that. I don't think they do long-term rentals.
They've asked us. And they want, well, ask them what they've asked us.
You mean
what the discount would be if they go for the...
Who, though? Who's asked you? Airbnb or the people renting it?
People renting.
Yeah, I don't think Airbnb does long-term, but I don't know what they consider long-term.
Airbnb or others have insurance that cover you if the guy's not insured.
Yeah.
I would do something away from Airbnb so they wouldn't take and do it long term.
Yeah, but everybody goes to Airbnb to.
No, but he's already had people ask him.
Oh yeah, it's just between you and them.
I would take between them.
But he's probably right. The insurance probably drops there if they don't book it through.
Airbnb. Of course, you're right.
Oh no, they're going through Airbnb. They're just want to know.
I'm going to Google. There's this thing I found on the internet called Google. It's wild.
They're asking what the discount would be if they have it for the season.
Hey, you want to go throw the ball around?
Yeah. I've been doing that with my wife, having to throw soft things at me and see how many times I can catch it.
It's very Jedi.
Or catch this.
Your depth perception is off.
Yeah.
Well, I can see one of those things coming at you so fast, you put your hand up and it goes right through.
Yeah.
I stuck my hand up on top of a high school baseball game and catch the ball. Good God.
My knuckles are hurt for
Hey,
man, I about took my hand
who's
off.
the black guy that we tried to find, the homeless guy who tried to find a room?
Oh, yeah. What a slick guy that guy.
No, well, no, it's slick, but he would be a good one for this one.
Yeah, he got to me.
No, I don't think he was genuine.
You don't think?
He was a homeless guy that was staying in the Marriott. That was the funniest shit. He had a platinum card for the Marriott.
Wow. And then he stayed with our one of our regular listeners.
One of our nuts.
Yeah, one of the kidnapped guys.
Had mice running over him.
So instead of getting a weekly hotel for like $400, he's spending $100+ a night.
I thought he had points though.
He did. He was using his platinum points from his Marriott card, along with cash.
You know,
hey, can you guys come help me pay for this room? I show up there, it's the fucking Marriott. There is no way I'm paying for the Marriott.
It was a nice one too.
The guy whose wife had passed away?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but the whole thing was sketch. What was his name?
Need a change from this burnout scene.
Tom Martino here. Welcome. Glad to have Insurance Group of Denver with us. Dan sitting in. An insurance issue came up. David Salisbury, attorney at law, does estates and probate and planning, estate planning, and he knows a little bit about this because we asked him about it. He's heard calls on this before. David, you know, I want to go to a previous call and then this one. On a previous call, a guy said, and listen to this carefully because this is the lineage of it, his dad had life insurance. The mom is a beneficiary. But the dad's will specifically says all of the proceeds go to the kids. This happened within a year. Money has not been distributed yet. In fact, insurance has not even paid out yet. She wants to go into a nursing home. She wants to make the argument, yeah, I'm the beneficiary, but the will says kids get the money. What do you think?
I think that she gets paid. She's the beneficiary. Essentially it's a contract. He bought the insurance. He told them who gets the money when he dies, and that's where it's going to go.
Now, it's a 5-year look back. So for sake of Medicaid, do they say to her, you had $300,000 and you disposed of it?
If she, you mean, gave it away once she received it?
Well, yeah, she's the beneficiary on the insurance, but the husband's will said the kids get it. But it's still counted against her for Medicaid, isn't it?
Yeah, it would be. Now, one last thing. She could approach the insurance company and say that I disclaim my right to that money. If they accept that, then it would be paid to the estate, and then the kids would get it.
But
I've
what
never
about
had anybody do that?
But
I think it's at least worth a call, and she can say, I want to disclaim my interest. I haven't received it yet, and then it'll go to the estate, and if the estate says that's where the insurance to the kids, that's who should get it.
In another argument,
yeah,
are you not allowed to disinherit the wife? So now let's take this in its pure context. If she disclaims it, okay, now you have a wife, a widow, and 3 kids, and the will bypasses the widow and goes to the kids. Can the state make the argument that you can't disinherit your wife and she at least has some of it?
No, they won't make that argument. She could make that argument and petition the court
if she wanted the money, but she doesn't want the money. Right.
But a court or the state isn't going to tell her you've got to take this money.
Oh, so yet even though it's true you can't disinherit your wife unless she makes a stink about it, nobody's going to say anything.
Right.
Oh, that's a good, you know, do we have that guy's number? Because I hope he's listening. Now, listen, you might want to call David so he can get specifics and put him on a short retainer, because here's the deal. What David is saying is if the insurance company accepts a disclaimer, she can say, look, I don't care what you say. I don't want the money. I'm the beneficiary. Then the insurance company would default to the estate, and then as part of the estate, the will says it goes to the kids. Wife never gets it. Mark,
why would the insurance company even get involved in that, though, David? Wouldn't that just say, oh, this could become a legal issue? I don't care what they give us. We're writing the check to whoever.
If the woman...
No, because Mark, it's a contract. You know.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's what she's saying. He's saying, can't the insurance company wash their hands of it and say, look, I don't care what you want to do with the money, but it says you are the beneficiary.
You're getting the money.
Yeah. Oh, that's what they could say.
Why would they do anything else?
Well, he's saying he doesn't know if they would or not. It's worth a shot. What do you think? Let's ask Dan Mahoney with Insurance Group of Denver. What do you think the insurance company would say if someone wanted to disclaim it?
I can't imagine they'd be involved. The backside of this is that...
You think they'd still write the check to the mom?
Right. Well, we're all taxpayers, right?
Right.
So if this money isn't going to pay for her care, we are.
Right.
So who should it go with? So I think the insurance company is probably just going to wash her hands. There's no benefit or negative to them doing it.
All they do is open themselves up to an issue.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Wait.
How
are they going to know the Medicaid issue? How is the insurance company going to know why
she can just say, I don't want it.
They're not going to ask.
They're not. That's a
look, it's worth a shot. That's all I'm saying.
And you know, that's what attorneys do. They look for legal loopholes. And that could be a shot. It could be, as Mark said, the insurance company says, no, it says we write you the check, we write you. If you want to tear it up, tear it up. I mean, we're not going to
sign it over, whatever you want to do.
But in any case, we have another question for you, David. Okay. Kenny did the roof on a home. The guy dies. Kenny's owed money. Let's call it X. Let's call it 10 grand. He's owed 10 grand. He says to the family, I want my money, and they say, don't worry about it. He never hears from them. He puts it in to probate. He puts it in against the estate. 10 grand. They got the insurance proceeds. That's important to say. They got the insurance proceeds. Right, Kenny?
Yeah, they got, the bill was around $10,000. They gave me like 55 or almost 6 of it.
Right.
But they did spend the first check. The first check that came.
It doesn't matter to you. You have a bill that's unpaid. You have about $5 grand owed, $4,500 owed, and you put a bill in with the estate. Is that right?
Yes.
Was it acknowledged?
Yeah, I did everything, and I took
it. Okay, good. So the question is this. David. The specific thing was.
How long? Wait a minute. How long ago did this happen?
I did the roof in September, and they advertised in the paper that you had to have the bill in by the 24th of May.
I just don't understand why you didn't lean it. Nothing to do with the question for David, but why would you put a lien?
Why didn't you lean it within the first 4 months, David? Kenny.
The reason I didn't was because I've known these people for 40 years.
Gotcha. That's enough. That's fine. You don't have to go into a long explanation. David, so how long, I guess our basic question for you is, if he submitted all bills by the end of May, and it's the end of May now, how long does it take for them to go through the bills and pay them?
Well, I mean, there isn't a statutory time period, but I would tell him, Kenny, the thing to do is, you should let them know, write them a letter, and let them know you're going to be petitioning the court to force the payment of this claim. You got the claim in there. They can't deny it. If they want to deny it, they could, but they've got no grounds to deny it. So that's what I would tell you to do. And I believe there is a form you can use. If you can't find it, give me a call, and I'll see if I can't find the form for you, and I'll send it over to you.
That's good. Now, hold on. There is another issue here, Kenny, and that is you said they spent the insurance check. Who is they?
Well, I think that they got the first check. They offered to pay me part of it. I said, just wait till the rest of it comes.
Okay, hold on. Why do you think they spent it?
Well, because they actually came to me and said that they did.
Okay.
Well, Tom, that's a big problem.
Yes, it is. Tell him, David.
The personal representative cannot start making distributions to anyone until they know that all the bills are paid, and this is certainly a bill they are aware of.
In other words, they could be personally liable, David, right?
The personal representative would be liable if there isn't enough money to pay Kenny's claim.
Do you hear how important that is, Kenny, that they spent it, that the personal rep would have to account for that?
Yeah, and see, the power of attorney or the personal rep is his oldest son, but I think the wife, who he's been married to for 10 years, actually took that check and did something with it after he...
Well, guess what? She's responsible to pay you.
Well, no,
not she. I mean, I meant the personal rep. I'm sorry.
Okay,
but yeah, for sure. David Salisbury, thank you very much. Now, listen, Kenny, you call him about the little finesse here and there, okay? You may even want to hire him to compel the court and get it done, man. You know, it's not going to cost you that much, and you're owed like $4,500. 720-493-3911. Now, Lynette, thank you so much for waiting. I told you I'd come back to you a long time ago. I need these tips on finding a good roommate, and I hope you still have them for us.
I do.
Okay.
So, about 4 years ago, I bought my daughter a townhome near, I just call it I-70 in Lowell.
Okay.
On the north, part of Highlands. And what I did was, it was 3 bedrooms, so she needed a roommate to pay the rent. So I went into the DU housing office for the students there and told them that I had housing for a student. Well, it turns out that DU actually runs background checks on all their student teachers and people in that education program.
But what if you're not in DU?
Okay, well, you would go to Arapahoe Community College, or you go to Denver Public Schools, or somebody that has a turnover, of quality people, and then you just rent your room.
That's a great idea.
So then the other side of that is because it was an investment property, I had to have insurance on it. But I required, so here's the other side of it. I required my renters, and I only had 3 of them in 4 years. I required them to sign an 8-page lease, which is intimidating. And if they can't process what that lease says, they're not qualified to live in my home.
Hey, Lynette, you brought up something very, very important. I want to make a note about that DU thing. I made a mistake by saying, what if you have nothing to do with DU? But you can go there and say, I would love to rent to a responsible professor or a student or someone, someone who needs a room, and they want to help those people.
Right. That's exactly right. You make it reasonable so they can afford it, and you require them per the lease to have their own renter's insurance.
That's another great point, that they will have insurance for anything they do wrong, and you require it. Very good.
I insure the building in case the building burns down, but they insure the clothes in their room.
Yeah, but they would insure if this person smoked some pot and burned the house down, liability would be covered, and that's more important. Correct. That's more important than the renter's clothes. But any damage the renter does to your house, you can go after his liability. That's a great idea. Lynette, thank you. 2 great tips. Looking for a reliable person to rent a room. If you go to one of the major institutions like DU and say, look, I have a beautiful room for someone and I want someone responsible, they maintain a list, or they get inquiries all the time about people who need rooms. Great idea. Okay, and then on the renting a room out thing, whether you use, no matter how you do it, if you require them to have insurance, renter's insurance, then you have some liability for them. And then, of course, as Dan Mahoney said from Insurance Group of Denver, always notify your homeowners, because that's just a good idea. Now, guess what? We have absolutely open lines. You can call about anything you want. You want to have some fun? I'll let you just unload, unleash, vent. What chafes your rear? If you want, I'll give you, what, Mark, like 15 seconds, plus 15 if you're interesting. I'll just let you go. 303-713-TALK. Of course, if you have a problem, question, and complaint you need help with, you can also call 303-713-TALK.
This report is brought to you by Lowe's.
There's a couple of slow spots on the Highway Drive, northbound I-25 traveling downtown. I know that's not a big news story, but...
What are you raising for the bills?
Yeah.
Oh, plus you're out of work, aren't you?
Yeah. So
what do you do?
I do building maintenance, medical offices.
How long do you think?
Tom, do you get all that paperwork from that
know,
Marine car?
I got to meet with a plastic surgeon on Monday.
No, I didn't.
So,
wait, I shouldn't.
There it is.
Because I can't lift anything. My sinuses are all busted up, and they don't want any pressure behind my eye.
Don't you think if where he got hit by that ball, that foul ball, 10 other people in the past year got fucking clobbered right there?
No.
Regardless of what that ticket says.
Yeah, he said no.
It's almost like that Esquire, or not Esquire.
Yeah, but it truly...
That third base line's a bad place.
Yeah,
it's like
because yeah, that's right. The statute part of that. If it didn't have the statute, then you could fight some different questions of judgment, Mark. But because
it's weird, it's just fucking weird. But they had to do it, or else who would, or how would anybody own a team or go to a town?
I think
it's like governmental
immunity. Together, we were just going to the baseball game, so everybody was there.
You know, some people.
How much did you pay for the ticket?
Bring a glove.
Or someone gave it to you?
So my cousin's husband is in the Air Force, so it was $16 for the ticket because they bought all the tickets.
They get them cheap.
Yeah.
Oh, they were all with you?
Yeah.
Holy
You know, because the right hand batter, that by the time
Did it hurt instantly, or did it start hurting?
Oh, absolutely.
Did you go into shock?
Yeah, I think, I knew it hurt, and the doctor kept telling me control my breathing, so I don't think it was registering that it was really hurting then. And then when I was at the ER, there was just a moment when I could definitely tell.
Did they give you any like morphine or anything?
No.
Yeah.
But if it's a right-handed,
That's some strong shit.
I don't know.
That's what I used to go to sleep.
Did you,
with your own personal doctor?
Yeah, my own personal doctor.
Fear a loss of sight? You know, because they take the pitch.
Yeah.
When they took me down into that clinic, he had my left eye covered and said, tell me how many fingers. And then I knew he could see my eye, but I couldn't see him.
Incredible.
And that's, I was
busted that far.
God, what a luck, just right
I
there.
still can't think of the...
Not a shoulder.
Bill, there you go.
That the USA Today had.
Yeah, let me see it. Can you see the ball like over here?
I'd say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen that one.
Yeah, that one.
Who took it?
It was a photographer with USA, or the USA Today had the.
He was just there.
To it, yeah.
That sucks.
Who got the ball?
Yeah, just he did. He got the ball. I read that.
That guy in the purple?
And the guy didn't some guy sign it for you?
Yeah, I got a Arenado signed the ball, and they gave it to me when I was in the ambulance.
Well, you would have thought they'd give him like 10 signed balls.
Did it come off his bat?
No, it was one of the Reds.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Did he say anything, the Reds?
Mm-mm. No, the only thing I've heard from the Rockies, they just called and wanted to know how I was doing, and offered me tickets. So.
How many tickets they offer you?
We took 4 tickets last night.
Did you get box seats? What are we talking here?
Okay, we're here.
3713 Talk. Phil wants a rant, guys. So we're going to give Phil a rant, and I'm going to start the clock, and if he's interesting, I'll let him go 30. Phil, the only thing, no vulgarities, you know that, the FCC thing, we have a delay here. So you can go anytime you want, and I'll start the timer, sir.
All right, Tom, I just wanted to say you've got a great show. You've got the best staff I've ever heard. And even though he's sometimes crude and tongue-in-cheek, Mark is always, always correct. He's always right.
Okay, now, I definitely are not going to let you go any farther. Okay, always correct. Come on. Okay, that's your right.
Drew, grab that, please, so we can play that a lot.
Okay, now, Mark, you also have a rant. This is Mark, caller Mark. Are you ready, sir?
I am.
Go ahead, sir.
All right, so men can't have their own clubs. Women just have to infiltrate everything men do, and now boys can't even have their own club because women ruin the Boy Scouts for the boys, just ingraining it right from the beginning.
All right.
I didn't even know Girl Scouts. Is he saying girls can join the Boy Scouts?
Yeah, get with it, Mark.
So that, Mark, thank you very much.
I didn't know that.
Really, you know,
can boys join the Girl Scouts?
No, I don't know. But there are exclusive clubs all over. But you can't have certain exclusive clubs. We've said it before, man. You know, and it's because of all of the years of the opposite. So we just have to live with it. If you had a network called White Entertainment Television, WET, like BET, Black Entertainment Television. Well, you do have some WET channels, but I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about if you did that, it would be immediately labeled racist. But I can see why. Can you? But black.
Well, 200 years of our history is why.
But black entertainment television, I swear to God, has never offended me. I mean, when people say it, I think they're just doing it for an argument. Because does it offend you that there's a black entertainment or black associated with black journalism?
No.
Journalists, I mean. No. What? But yet, if they said white, it would be weird. Like the Association of White Journalists. I don't know why, but it is. It's weird.
We had a 200-year head start in this country.
Let's get some of these up quick. Do you want to just put up a name or whatever of their rants? Whatever. Just tell me. You can just tell me. Who are they? Hello. I can take anybody. Who?
I don't know. Line 1 is Jim talking about Adriana from FedEx, but I don't know what it's about.
Oh, okay.
I missed all
okay,
that.
that's okay. And get the other one then. Okay, good. Jim, you want to talk about FedEx. What's going on with that?
Oh, no. I'm the Jim that Adriana mentioned. Mechanic at FedEx.
Okay.
And I just wanted to let you know she's concerned that that she's going to get rid of the vehicle to somebody, and they're not going to be happy with it for one reason.
Oh, the gal selling the
Yeah,
vehicle
yeah.
is named Adriana. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Well, listen,
Right.
listen. We love that she's doing that. I mean, she could get $6,000-7,000 for that car easily.
Oh, I've told her that, and I mean, yes, the vehicle, it has a couple of issues. It occasionally overheats. It may need a thermostat or a fan clutch.
Yeah.
It's got a draw on the battery.
Right.
So
She told us that.
Yeah, every once in a while she has to jump start it.
But if you're talking about getting a truck like that for $1,500, even if they put another $1,500 in it, they're only in it $3,000.
That's what I'm trying to explain to her. She's very she's afraid that, like I said, that
That she might cheat somebody inadvertently.
Right, and because she's not trying to screw anybody. She wants us to go to somebody that needs it. A young person.
And somebody who can afford to fix the minor issues.
Right, and will, maybe.
Does it have tires and an engine?
Yeah, she said new tires even.
Okay.
It has.
Does it go in reverse?
All right, now hold on. Thank you very much, by the way, for calling. Okay, Andy Taylor, a fan of the show. We love having him here as the common man today. He was at the Cincinnati Reds versus Rockies game, got his head hit with a ball, and man, it really hurt his eye bad. He has stitches, and he may have limited vision. He has a ton of doctor bills, and of course, Rockies aren't responsible for that. He has to pay, and he has a GoFundMe site for that. And you're out of work as well. So, Andy, what's your GoFundMe?
So the title on the GoFundMe that my sister made for me is Pop Fly, Almost Lost an Eye.
Pop Fly. That's all we really need to know. If you say Pop Fly, Almost Lost an Eye, if they go to GoFundMe and search that, they'll find it.
Yeah, picture me and my wife on the front page there.
Okay. Pop Fly, Almost Lost an Eye. Thank you for being here. And, folks, thank you for tuning in. Remember, referrallist.com for help, information, and referrals. We're going to try to launch our new site in the next day or so. Stay tuned for that, referrallist.com. I say this and I mean it. Oh, by the way, tomorrow is car day. Save all your problems for me.
Do you
That's pretty smart, Pop Fly.
Oh, your sister.
But it wasn't a pop fly.
It was somewhere between the line drive and a Pop Fly.
Line drive, I'll
Get your story straight. I don't know. I was just trying to think of a clever name.
Trying to okey doke people.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah. Did we see him doing this?
God, that had to hurt like hell.
Oh my God! Did you see
insurance?
There's only one other place where it could have hurt more.
Oh man,
I think stars.
I think I'd take it there.
Yeah.
I've been hit the head a couple times.
God, losing an eye.
Well, we were talking about it. If it had hit a couple inches any other direction, it could have been way worse. Walked out there with my jaw hanging off, or
You're right
knocked
about
out
that.
cold.
No, the jaw would have been major problems.
Did they even stop the game or no?
No. They don't
Well, the lady
Over my
that
nose.
was working in the stands or the usher, they come running down after the foul balls, and they either give a thumbs up or they wave their arms to whoever's looking up top with the radio. She comes running down all happy, and she just sees me and goes, "Oh shit!"
Get down here! God, yeah, I didn't even realize that. They check every one, don't they?
Yeah.
What do you mean check everyone?
Every time there's a foul ball, one of the ushers makes sure someone didn't get knocked.